And we're live! Welcome back to our next episode of Johnson Nielsen. I'm your co-host, Prince Johnson.
I'm Nickolaus Nielsen.
And today, we're going to talk about something we've been talking about for a little bit. We're going to talk about franchise fatigue. Yeah, particularly with, we have a lot of movies such as, I'll just, right off the bat, I'll hit it with the Transformers.
Oh, yeah.
Just needs to die. Nick, what about you, man? Okay, just give me your overall thoughts on franchises right now, because we have a bunch of them going on right now.
You're right. Here's the thing.
Mm-hmm.
I get a little franchise fatigue. Like just this last kind of movie season that's still going on. There was a couple films that came out, all generally franchise films. We had Logan, we had Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, we had Wonder Woman, we had a couple things, and Wonder Woman I loved.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's part of the DCEU, but you know what? I love that film.
Oh, so good, man. I loved it.
Guardians, I thought was okay. I was like, it's okay. I didn't think it was quite as good as the first one, but I was like,
I agree with you there. I didn't think it was as good as the first one, but I really liked it a lot.
No, it was a fun popcorn film, but when it was all said and done, I was like, well, I don't know. Like, I guess for me, like, I love continuity and I love story, and I knew everything's building towards Infinity Wars, and this didn't quite build towards that.
Yeah, it was kind of a shock to me that it didn't even have like a actual post-credit scene or anything.
Not a real one. I mean, it had 5 or 6.
Yeah. But they were all like kind of like just in-jokes.
Yeah, kind of. Like, the only thing I will say, it was cool to see Kurt Russell in a big role, and then it was the character of Mantis, so I really enjoyed.
Oh, I loved her, man. I really kind of thought like she was going to be...
I hope they did. I was like, please don't kill her off. Please don't kill her off.
Well, I didn't think she was going to get killed. I just thought she was going to be kind of like a one-off character where I don't really care about her. Like, I was going to be like, oh, she's funny for a few seconds, but I loved her, man.
Nope, and they're bringing her back for Infinity War.
Hell
which is
yeah,
great.
dude. Yeah, I'm so happy about that.
But then we also saw... what did I say? I said Wonder Woman, I said Guardians, and Logan.
Oh,
yeah. I liked it,
yeah,
but I think it was missing a few beats for me to love it. Like,
man,
everybody was really sucking that movie's dick a little bit.
They were, man.
It wasn't a bad movie.
It wasn't. I just feel like personally, I wish I would have cared a little bit more by the end. I felt like even though we've been through how many movies with Logan?
17 years of movies with him.
Yeah, and like I felt like his
3 trilogies with him now.
Dude, totally. And I felt like his death was kind of just like
Yeah,
and I'm like, I should be crying right now.
Right, it's like, well, I was kind of like, wait, so after everything we've seen this dude go through, a fucking getting stabbed by a tree is gonna kill him? I know his healing factor ain't working as great, but like, that's how you... Why not, like, put him in a fucking, like, tank or, like, put him in a midst of a nuclear explosion? Like, he has to take the blast. That'll kill him. I'll believe that. Like, there could be an emotional scene where it's like, you see the healing factor, maybe it's kind of working, but then it's not working, and he just accepts his death, man. It's like, it could be, I don't know, I just felt it was not a great death for him.
Yeah, and his dialogue was just kind of like boring. It's like, oh, so that's what it feels like.
Well, like
come on.
It's cool that, he died saving the children.
Yeah, and his daughter... Quote
sort
unquote,
of.
yeah.
Well, clone dog.
Yeah, I know that, but
so, see, Prince, there's hope for all of us. If you don't want to have kids, you can just have a clone dog.
No, I'm good. I'm good.
You don't want to have a clone, like, female version of you that's like 4
the world doesn't need it.
Say that in 20 years. Someone might need it.
Possibly.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, I just felt like his death was kind of like... is whatever. I loved the movie itself for the most part. Like, I like how they went kind of raw, made it all gritty and stuff. A lot of people were against that. How they I hate saying gritty, by the way, but like I mean, like, they made it feel... They try to make it feel like it was really grounded.
You know what? I'm going to play devil's advocate with the movie for a little bit. Like, I'll compliment, but then I'll criticize.
Go ahead.
So, I like how it didn't feel like the other films. I like how it felt like its own thing. It had its own flavor, it had its own style. Now, with that said, I hate the goddamn fucking X-Men movies, how there's a huge lack of continuity between the other films.
Alright, how so? How do you feel that played in this one?
So it's like, technically, what year is this supposed to take place? This technically takes place like 4 or 5 years after...
I think it's after Days of Future Past.
Well, yeah, it's after Days of Future, but it's supposed to be only like 4 or 5 years, right?
I'm not sure if it's 4 or 5 or it's like a decade, possibly. I never did my research on that.
I think it's less than a decade, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
And it just feels like, okay, at the end of that happy ending of Days of Future Past...
Yeah.
And Professor X looks fine.
Yeah.
Logan's got a couple grays in his hair.
Yeah.
And then it's like... This shit happens less than a decade later? Like, it went that downhill?
Well, you know what happened was, I know in the Old Man Logan comic, which was, this was partially based off of...
partially.
Yeah. Well, Logan has a moment where he's
I know. Yeah.
He's tricked. I can't remember who was it. Mr. Sinister who did it?
It was Mysterio.
Mysterio. Oh wow,
the whole Marvel universe, not just the X-Men.
Yeah, that's right. Because Hulk and everything shows up.
Yeah.
But
on Red Skull.
Yeah, Hawkeye's blind and or has one arm.
Yeah.
But Logan has a moment where he's tricked by Mysterio into thinking that all the X-Men are actually villains, and he's going berserk on him.
Oh, and totally. And we realizes what happens. Dude, he tries to kill himself. He puts his neck on a train and lets a train roll over.
And it's so sad. I remember reading that comic, and I was like, he's got Jubilee in his arms, man. She's saying, and she's like, why'd you do this to us? Mm-hmm. Like it makes me emotional thinking about that. Actually, like it's like.
And you feel like it's a great gut puncher, man. It's totally a great motivation for the character.
Yeah.
Where was that in the movie a little bit? I didn't feel that.
Well, they hinted at that is what happened.
Not necessarily. They actually hint that it's Professor X that kills him with that whole
That's right.
But then I kind of asked, like, so literally you had Beast, you had Storm, you had everybody just happened to be there because most of the time they're all off doing their own thing.
Yeah,
shit. Like in these X-Men movies, that's what they always imply. Mm-hmm. And then also part of me is just like, where's fucking Deadpool? Is he running around there somewhere?
Technically, he's kind of in that universe, so
didn't they also say? I remember someone reading, well, Logan is technically separate from the rest of the X-Men movies. Like, what does that even mean? What do you mean it's separate from the movies?
It's supposed to be you know what? Remember we talked about this. We talked about how everything does not have to be a shared universe, but this is kind of like I think I know what you're about to say. Is like it's been set up to be like it's shared.
Yeah, no, every movie led up to this point totally implies that it's still like a shared. So why all of a sudden they're going back and saying, well, no, this is a pocket. I'm like, it's a different thing. I was like, it either is or it isn't, asshole. So
right. There are Logan posters in Deadpool and Deadpool 2 there is, for the trailer you see.
But Deadpool is a joke in itself.
Well, yeah, of course. Yeah. It's a big parody and big fourth wall breaker. So.
Sure. Now with that said, it's like, but he was, I'm sure if Hugh Jackman called Ryan Reynolds tomorrow. It's like, maybe I want to do one more where it's you, me, and Logan and Deadpool. He'll jump at the fucking chance to do that.
Hugh Jackman?
Oh yeah. If Ryan Reynolds called him tomorrow and said, why don't we do it?
I think so. I think I honestly do think I have to agree there. Even though he said he's retired from Logan, I think he would do it.
Well, no, even that with even though Deadpool's the joke, I'm saying if Hugh Jackman called Ryan Reynolds tomorrow and said, let's do it.
Yeah.
Ryan's like, well, sure. And then it's like, it'll be a joke, but it'll still be canon.
You think?
Well, because, there's Logan posters in the teaser, and the teaser itself is a joke. It's not part of the main film.
Right, of course.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, and not to mention, it's like, look, there's that shitty X-Men Origins Deadpool action figure in the movie that he picks up.
Yeah.
And why does he pick it up? There's no real sense, right?
No, it's just to imply that hey,
wink at the audience.
Yeah, exactly. Look at this shit.
But Deadpool is very meta in itself. That whole character is based on being meta.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that's I give that a pass because that's what the whole character is about.
Okay.
But ultimately, what I'm trying to get at with Logan is that I like how it had its own style. I like how it had its own breath of fresh air. Mm-hmm. I just wish, not just that movie, but the overall series just had better continuity, man. It's just really shitty, and it pisses me off.
Do you think that's in fault partially or as a whole because of mostly Fox?
Yes.
All right.
So I know, they say, oh well, we just don't care. It's like, no, I think you literally just nailed it. You guys don't fucking care.
That's terrible, though. You know what? I can't say they don't care. They got Simon Kinberg over there, and he seems
now.
Yeah.
But even then, it's like Logan. Logan is kind of like Hugh Jackman's like, look, this is my last one, so we're gonna do whatever we want.
Okay.
And then
they went balls out, man, for a lot of shit.
They didn't. I still like the film. I just don't love the film.
It has some really dark moments, man.
No, it's got some real gritty serious. My dad loved it, and I feel like it's one of those movies that
if you're not a fan.
No. I feel like as I get older, I'll like it because I feel like it's definitely an old man story.
Yeah.
Not to generalize, but
no. Well, the comic itself is called Old Man Logan.
Well, so, yeah, but you have like my dad kind of getting up there. My grandfather, they all like those old westerns, man. They always like those old John Wayne movies where it's like,
okay, I got you. This is kind of like his Unforgiven.
A little bit, and they always like that, because they're all old guys,
Yeah.
We might have that day one day.
So it's more entertaining for them to think about that kind of.
Yeah, and I feel like, well, maybe when I get older, I'll watch it with fresh eyes.
I got you.
And I'll be like, maybe I was harsh on this movie.
I know what you mean. I understand exactly what you mean.
Now with that said, now we're focusing on the subject of franchise fatigue.
Yeah.
It's for the most part, I enjoy franchise movies.
Okay. What would you say is your favorite, currently?
Currently?
Well, okay, wait.
Overall or currently?
Tell me a franchise that you particularly really loved in the past as a child. Actually, first.
Nightmare on Elm Street and Friday the 13th.
Okay.
And as silly and as crazy as they got, they knew what they were.
Of course,
I went in like, hey, let's go for this ride.
Look how many fans they still have.
Yeah, I mean, there's a really funny joke where they were making Nightmare 4. Mm-hmm. Jim Cameron actually just bumped into one of the producers and they said, "Yeah, we're working on Nightmare 4." And he goes, "Really? How you guys bringing Freddy back this time?" And he's like, "Oh, a dog pees on his bones and he awakens or pisses fire out of it. That's how he."
Oh my god!
And you're like, all right, whatever.
Wait, does that actually happen in that movie?
Nightmare 4? Yeah, it happens in that. You better believe it. That's
the Dream Master, right?
Yep, that's how Freddy is brought back. Like, they're in a dream, dog pisses fire out, and then suddenly the earth cracks open, you see Freddy's bones, and they just morph back to Freddy.
And there's no explanation as to why this dog's piss.
See me, I'm shrugging my shoulders.
Oh my god. Alright, okay, well, like you said, it's a franchise. That's a franchise for sure that knows what it is.
Of course.
And just revels in it.
Well, I mean, look at Friday the 13th. You have...
God
Parts
damn.
1, 2, 3, and 4.
How many do we have?
There's 11. No.
Is that including the remake?
12.
Is that including the remake?
That's including the remake.
Okay.
There's 12. There's 12 official movies, and they keep talking about doing another one, and they'll call it... The joking rumor is it'll be called Friday the 13th, Part 13. Because they're like, at this point, why not?
Hell yeah, man. I like that.
Is it great, right?
Hell yes. So, what do you think... Those franchises, both of them seem to be kind of like in the wings right now. They're not really going very strong anymore.
And that breaks my heart a little bit.
Yeah.
Because I feel like...
Because when was the last thing we saw? We saw...
09 and 2010.
In
09 we saw Friday the 13th. And then in 2010 we saw the Nightmare on Elm Street.
That's right, man. Yeah. What'd you think of those two?
Well, why you think the Transformers things needs to die? I'll give you a name. Michael fucking Bay. Keep your fucking hands off my horror...
Wait, what did he have his hands in?
It's his company, Platinum Dunes, that were doing those remakes.
No! Yeah. I didn't know that.
Same company that did the... Now, to be fair, his Texas Chainsaw remake they did back in...
I kind of like that. Yeah.
It's okay. It's fine.
I actually never saw the original Texas Chainsaw.
That's good.
Okay, I actually have a version of it. I have a copy of it.
I've seen them all. I've seen them all. Like, there's the first one is really great. It's real gritty. Awesome. And then the 2 is just kind of indie, crazy. Right? But Toby Hooper does both. So
okay, he's a Leatherface?
No, he's the director.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, awesome. He did the first 2.
Okay, great.
And Dennis Hopper's in the sequel, and he's crazy.
Oh shit! Is he part of the family? Or?
No, he's a sheriff hunting him down, and has this epic fight with Leatherface in part 2, where he has 2 chainsaws, and they're having this chainsaw fight. It's so see, we don't have that anymore in horror movies, man. Where they just accept that they're silly. They go one of 2 ways. They either go real gritty, or they go silly.
Let's talk about that for a second. We have this whole fad, especially in the past decade, of movies, especially sequels and remakes, having to be, and I think The Dark Knight did this, was what kind of sparked it. But movies have to be dark and gritty, to have modern audiences understand them.
Sure.
And it kind of takes away from the fun.
Well, we just saw the trailer drop for the new Rocko's Modern Life reboot, and there's that scene in the theater where they're watching the really, really big man, and it's he's the gritty creature.
Yeah, I felt more like they were trying to make him like the Ben Affleck kind of thing.
Well, kind of.
Yeah.
Well,
it's probably a take on
gritty.
Yeah. I got you. Yeah, I totally feel like I understand what you're saying. They were trying to give us that little take.
I mean, it's just it's a flavor of the month thing, man. It's just a flavor of the decade, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. That was 2008, and we're 2017, only 9 years out from that. So it's and that shit's still going strong. But then with that said, that same year we got Iron Man.
Yeah, man, and Iron Man.
So it's you see superhero movies, they kind of branch into 2 factors. Yes. You either go really gritty reboot, or you go Marvel. Yeah, man,
you're absolutely right. I feel like when Iron Man came out, it was kind of like an antithesis to all those dark and gritty ones, because it felt very grounded, but it also was fun, man. And I hate when people say oh, movie has to be fun, blah 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 blah, because that was the big. Okay, we'll talk about this. I gotta go get rid of that. But I loved Iron Man because it had a good sense of what it was supposed to be.
Oh yeah, and you had a great director, Jon Favreau, man, who's great with comedies, great with improv comedies too.
And half that movie is damn near improv. That's why the dialogue seems to be kind of funky sometimes.
A little bit, but you got Downey Jr., who's a master improv. If you give him hey Downey, you have fun with it.
Right.
He gives a little wink. I got this.
Exactly. Yeah. Right.
But the overall movie works. But you see, I I don't know. I feel like they got lightning in a bottle and they never quite captured it with Iron Man 2 and 3.
Iron Man 2 I thought was pretty bad.
Iron Man 3 I think is the worst.
I fell asleep in Iron Man 3. I've never actually finished the movie.
Again, I just hate what they did with the Mandarin.
I found out, because I was asleep that whole time. I woke up for the last fight and I found out what happened with that, and I was like, that's really stupid. You wasted Ben Kingsley.
Well, not even that, but it's like, there's a right way to do the Mandarin, and it's not what they did.
I think
like why not just do a Marvel proper adaptation of the Mandarin, have a really good, like, strong Asian actor play this role, and make him a force, make him scary.
Well, the PC police were probably like, well, that's probably going to be
here's my counter argument with that. Yeah. No, give a strong Asian male a lead role, and don't make him a Fu Manchu joke.
Exactly.
Modernize him, man. Make him a fucking make him a scary villain.
I think they thought that they were modernizing him by making him
white and Guy Pearce.
Wait.
Yeah, because sort of, because he goes, I am the Mandarin!
Is that no?
Yeah, because Ben Kingsley is an actor.
I knew about that.
Yeah, and then
but Guy Pearce is supposed to be the actual Mandarin?
Sort of. He kind of says
that's so stupid.
Like the Mandarin was an image, but I am the Mandarin.
That's so fucking dumb.
Yeah, and
really is.
Then they did the Marvel one shot where it's they try to imply, no, the Mandarin's still out there, and the real Mandarin's out there.
Never saw him,
but we never see him.
It's been 7 years now. Yeah, it really has.
I know.
Or wait, when did that one come out?
The
12?
All Hail the King or whatever? Or Iron Man 3?
It was 2012, 2013, right?
13. It was the year after Avengers.
Yeah, man, it's been almost 5 years now.
Yeah.
Still haven't seen anything. To backtrack a little bit, what I was saying about dark and gritty franchises.
Yeah.
There was a big, stupid, in my opinion, debate about. I know how we both feel about Batman vs Superman, right?
Yeah. It's some stuff looks really nice, and then the thing just doesn't work. They tried to cram too much into one. It's Spider-Man 3 syndrome.
Now, a lot of people's argument wasn't even really so much about that.
That was my argument.
Yeah, well, you're a more intelligent person. A lot of people's argument was that the movie was too dark. And
Batman.
Exactly, dude. Well, not only that, but look at the whole story as a whole.
Did you ever you watched the Bruce Timm Batman Superman cartoon?
Oh, absolutely,
right?
Yeah.
Did you ever see the two-parter World's Finest when Batman actually
comes to Metropolis? That's a great story. That's a great version.
Why not just adapt that into a 2.5 hour movie?
I think that would have been good, but I think people were probably, well, not people, but the execs or people who were telling the story, like Jeff Johns and all them, were probably well, we've already told that story this way, so we want to try something different.
Yeah, but you're taking literally 5 or 6 different comics and trying to cram stories into all of them.
You had the Dark Knight Returns and all that.
I hate how I think it's Doomsday is actually in concept is one of my favorite villains because he's the only guy that's ever been able to kill Superman,
and he's just insane.
Well, he's not even insane. He's not even a thing. He's a force. He's a force in nature. It's just he's this ultimate force of destruction. He's the only guy that's really caused Superman to go to his peak.
Yeah,
and that's what kind of exhausted him and killed him.
Yeah. And the building fell on him.
No, it wasn't that. It was they both came at each other and they they hit each other with everything they had, and that's what killed them.
And they just passed out.
They both died.
Yeah.
And he went to I'm sorry, he didn't die. He went to the
coma,
Kryptonian coma or whatever bullshit.
Kryptonian coma.
Or they try to do shit. No, and it's
fucking comic books.
I know. I'm going back. We're talking franchise. You're going back over a decade. It's 2 decades really.
Yeah.
They've been trying to do the Death of Superman story and bring in Doomsday forever.
I know, man.
So, I get it. They've been trying to bring in Doomsday in a live-action movie forever, but this is not the way you do it, man. He deserves his own full movie.
Well, they were trying to rush it, man.
Wouldn't that have been a great, post-Justice League movie?
Fuck yes.
Imagine if Doomsday wasn't in this movie. And, it's this thing or whatever, there's another monster or something, and, Superman, say, doesn't die. They do Justice League, everything's great. Post-Justice League, your Man of Steel 2. Fucking something comes out of the ground and it's Doomsday. And you could give cameos to all the other superheroes and Doomsday's just plowing through them, and then finally it comes down to him and the Man of Steel.
Yeah.
They're going at it, dude. And most of the movie it's just the last third of the movie it's them just fighting, going crazy, and it ultimately takes him and he dies. So then you have Justice League 2 and all the other movies building around.
Yeah.
Well, Superman's dead now.
Well, see that I like you say that because
that could have been a really great how Marvel does their fate, and I hate to compare it to Marvel, but
no, it's fine. It's impossible not to.
Yeah. It's like, they do phase 1. We're focusing on this. Phase 2, we're focusing on this.
They're very smart.
Phase 2 of like DC could have been like, how does the universe deal with the death of Superman? Now we're dealing with it now. And it's like, but we're not even getting a full movie.
We haven't had enough time.
We haven't had consequences.
Yeah, we don't have enough time. We haven't had time to care about them.
Suicide Squad, like, they touch on it, but it's like, oh, we'll get a team of villains.
Yeah.
Okay, why?
Now, I argue still that the beginning of Suicide Squad is actually pretty smart in what it does. It does kind of go downhill a little bit towards the end.
That's like me saying the first half of X-Men Origins Wolverine's pretty good.
Ew. I can't. Okay, you know what? I have to agree that part was okay.
First half of the movie, okay. Until he gets the adamantium, the movie.
Well, that totally.
Post that, it kind of goes down.
It was just. It was so.
No, I argue that up until he gets the adamantium skeleton in that movie, well, the movie's actually it's okay. It's a solid movie. And then after that, the movie goes fucking downhill.
I can't really remember what happens.
He meets the old couple. They get killed.
That's right, because Gambit shows up.
Yeah. They go to the south.
Why did Gambit even show up?
Because he was the only one that knew where Stryker's Island was. Because he got there and he escaped. He was captured and he escaped.
Okay.
Well, no. They go to the Blob first.
That's right. Yep.
Have that dumb boxing match.
Yeah.
Why are they having a boxing match? It's like, just pull the claws out and be like, I'll fucking kill you if you don't.
Well, he does at the very end.
Yeah, but it's like, why don't you start with that? Why?
I don't know. Hollywood needed their action sequence.
I guess they needed some filler or something.
Yeah. Well.
Anyway, going back to yes, I mean, like, with franchises. There's dumb movies, there's dumb mistakes, man. Mm-hmm. We're talking about, like the negative side of it. Like, this is where I'm for franchises for the most part. Mm-hmm. If they're smart, if they're good. You can have a franchise with smart writing, good stories. But then when they start getting dumb, you go one of two ways. You're either like, this is dumb fun, or this is just dumb.
Okay.
Like, that's why I enjoy The Nightmare on Elm Street and Friday the 13th. They're dumb fun.
Yes, absolutely. Like, they know they are.
Well, yeah, and like even to a point of like other movies, like I really dug the Paranormal Activity movies.
Okay, yeah.
The first one I actually feel like, no, it's a good indie horror film.
All right, yeah.
I'm not even kind of like 2 and 3.
I love the first one.
I think the first 3, I think it's like, no, it's a solid little trilogy. The only time at the end of 3 is when I feel like they finally jumped the shark because they introduced the witchcraft just behind it all. And I'm like, oh, don't.
Well, it takes away the mythology, or not the mythology, the mysticism. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's like you don't know why this shit's happening. You can imply shit, but then it's like
that's what makes it cool when you kind of like it's ambiguous, like what the hell's going on.
Because leading up to it, man, it feels sort of like a Rosemary's Baby or something. You're like, what's going on? Is it like satanic? Oh, it's witchcraft.
Yeah.
And it's a coven of witches.
Yeah, well, now you know. So it's like we don't know. Like it takes away the fun.
Yeah, and then I've seen them all. The last one is kind of dumb, but but they're dumb fun movies, and they're very cheap to make. So I'm just like, whatever, man. These are Halloween movies. I go to Halloween movies. I get a
little jump scare.
Yeah, like I have my popcorn. I'm like
It's fun. Yeah. You can't. I don't like the people who like to complain about them because they are fun.
They are.
Yeah.
Oh, and I always feel like there should be a franchise scary movie that comes out on Halloween every year.
Well, speak of the devil.
I know.
It died.
I know.
Now it's coming back.
I know exactly what you're gonna say.
Tell me what you. I have not seen.
We'll say
all
what
of
it
them.
is first.
Okay, so we're talking about Saw, obviously.
Here's the thing. I appreciate what Saw is. Mm-hmm. I just never got into the characters and the mythology behind it because it didn't grab my attention. Like I saw the first 3.
Okay.
First one, very similar to Paranormal Activity. It's a great, solid indie horror film. Mm-hmm. Like James Wan, I didn't quite agree that it should be a franchise.
He said that?
He never wanted it to be a franchise. The producers...
He only did one, right?
He only did the first one.
Okay. Well, they definitely tried to make it into the next thing, like the next Freddy.
And you know what? And with that said, Wes Craven did not want the first Nightmare on Elm Street. Like he didn't want that to be a franchise. He just wanted the first film, one and done.
He only did a few of them.
And he did the first one.
Then
he did
New Nightmare, right?
Well, he did New Nightmare, and he did a little story work on 3. But when he originally set out, the producer Bob Shea wanted the hook ending. And he wanted to be like, well, we're going to set it up for the sequel. He goes, this movie's never going to have a sequel. Nobody's going to watch another one.
That's hilarious that he
said it became like one of the most popular horror films.
Absolutely. If not the most popular horror franchise.
I mean, I'd argue Freddy and Jason are right, or Freddy is right up there with like a Dracula or a Frankenstein, if not higher.
Dude, for sure.
Yeah.
You know, those movies are kind of like our...
Generations.
Yeah, Hammer films kind of, man.
I even go back to Universal horror films, too.
Oh, yeah, dude.
Yeah. I mean, I see in the next 50 years, man, we could probably have 2 or 3 more actors playing Freddy or...
Yeah. Well, we got Jackie Earle Haley. Well,
and I can't say doing a new remake with another actor.
Are they really?
I heard Kevin Bacon's name thrown around.
Dude!
And he actually said, I'd be interested.
I would love that. That'd be really freaking cool.
And he could be creepy, right?
Yeah. Kevin Bacon's
some gravitas in that, man.
Well, Kevin Bacon's that kind of actor, man. You can toss him in like anything.
A little bit, yeah. He's a chameleon.
He really is, dude.
And Jackie Earle Haley, I
think he's a good actor.
I don't think he got a fair shot. I think he just got a bad script and a bad director.
Yeah. I think he would have done a really good thing with the character if they'd given him better direction.
And I didn't like his makeup.
Where it was just like complete. He didn't have like a charismatic look to him.
No, he just looked like sort of like a melted.
Well, he was just a burn victim. That's all.
Well, I mean, like he looked like a melted like
Snoke.
Yeah, he looked like Snoke.
He really did. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like, well, he just looked like a melted version of that. I don't know. Like I feel like you could just some of his face could have been normal and some of it could have been burned. You know what I mean? Like that could have been like kind of scary.
To give him a little more character.
Like what if like kind of like half his face was burnt or something like that, because Jackie has a very characteristic face.
Yeah.
Like Rorschach, man, that face is like really like, if you saw that dude, if you walked down the streets and you just saw like his Rorschach like without the mask.
Yeah.
I don't know, it's like, giving you the crazy eyes and shit like that.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck, man. Like this guy's starting to freak me out.
Yeah. He's got that look in his eyes.
Yeah. But then it's like, if you see it's like, shadows like covering his face. You walk like, you see him like in your nightmare in a boiler room and then he steps into the light and then like the other half's like fucking burnt and shit. You're just like, oh shit.
Yeah. Man.
Like there could have been a really cool way to do that.
Do you feel like Freddy, outside of the first one, do you feel like his scary factor kind of went down a little bit?
Not at all, man. Like
because we've seen that face so much.
That doesn't mean anything, man.
Okay.
I mean, like, because
I will say.
Well, I mean, like the aliens are terrifying, but we've seen them in like
the
7 or 8
xenomorphs?
films. Yeah, the xenomorphs.
Yeah.
But if I was like, I've had nightmares like about xenomorphs. Like
they're creepy looking, man.
Well, dude, like if you were like, imagine if you're just like coming home like in our apartment, you're walking towards your room and all of a sudden like you see like the hallways dimly lit and all of a sudden you hear and you see like a tail moving and stuff like that. And it's staring at you.
They're like ant/scorpions.
Yeah, and it's like it's like drooling its face, like it's looking at you. Like so that's like you shit your pants, man.
Yeah,
you don't know
dude.
what to do. Like,
no, yeah, those
like I'm gonna die.
Yeah, well, Xenomorphs are such a like H.R. Giger. Like man, he did some great designs on those things.
But like, look, those movies. How many movies have they done now with those characters?
We got Aliens
1 through 4.
Yeah, 4. That's right.
Alien vs Predator 1 and 2.
Yep.
Prometheus, sort of, and Covenant. So that's 8 films.
That's right, man.
But they're still scary.
They are.
And now some are good, and some are bad.
Yeah. You mean the creatures themselves are still scary?
The creatures themselves, in my head, are very scary. Mm-hmm. But we've seen them, and like they still hold up. Mm. And like again, there are good movies with them, and then there are not so good movies with them.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like a boomerang too, because it's like, say what you will about Prometheus, it's kind of a solid film for the most part.
I like Prometheus.
It's a solid B.
It had some really good ideas in it.
Yeah.
It's harder for me to consider that more of like an actual straight horror film. It's definitely more of a sci-fi.
But the idea of it is kind of scary.
Well, yeah. Of course, the fact that something can invade your body and like it's almost like a body horror movie.
Well, it's like the ultimate form of rape, man. It's like
Well, it's kind of implied with the whole H.R. Giger aesthetic.
Impregnates rapes you and impregnates you. It's kind of scary.
It is, man.
To men and women too. That's like
exactly.
And not only the birth will kill you.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, ooh, God.
Yeah, man. Well, even in like Covenant, like you were telling me about it. It's like they pop to the back and shit. Like
they come out the dude's fucking mouth at one point. It's fucking
gnarly,
disgusting, man. Yeah, it's really no.
But you said overall it wasn't.
No, it tried to be.
It tried to be both a sequel to Prometheus and an Alien film.
Yeah, it totally.
Why couldn't it be both?
It was literally trying to be Prometheus and Aliens at the same time, and Alien.
So it's trying to be like a sequel to one movie.
It was all over the place, and with the space jockeys, which is like one of the most fascinating things from the first movie.
Of course, yeah.
That we don't know. It's a mystery.
And it didn't continue the mythology of that, really.
Well, it did, but you don't really find out much more. So, in a sense, that's kind of a good thing, but it's also like, well, the whole point of this trilogy, because there's going to be another one, is to explain the origin of the space jockey.
Well, and to tie it in ultimately with Aliens.
Right.
Or Alien, yeah.
Yeah. So, and I'm not really seeing
the connection yet.
Well, you see the connection, but it's just like that's it.
Well, yeah. Well, didn't he say like he'd like to do one of those sequels with bring Sigourney Weaver and de-age her?
With her?
Maybe like have a scene. Yeah.
Oh, well, like she's really, really young, like when Alien 1?
Yeah, like maybe like the third film will end with like their ship like fighting something.
Dude, that'd be awesome, man.
See, that's a franchise right there. Like, and there's 8 films. There'll be 9 films.
Yeah,
but that's still like.
What? Okay.
So why do some franchises, like, why do you hate some, but you like some? Like, why do we give some a pass? Like do you, okay, you say you have franchise fatigue. I admit at times I have franchise fatigue, but we still both go to them.
Of course, I have fun with them, I accept for what they are, well, then, but I also hate a lot of them.
Okay, do you have advice? Like, maybe they should do something, like, what does work and what doesn't work?
Transformers is the one example I came up with first, like, at the beginning of the podcast, was because I feel like the first Transformers, I know a lot of people say it's the only good one.
That's my opinion.
I don't think any of them are good. I think the first one had some decent ideas.
I say the first one's a pass.
Barely.
I say it's a solid B.
B?
I give the first Transformers movie a solid B.
I'd give that a C- at the most.
No, I feel
maybe a D+.
Oh, dude, you're that's hating on the first one.
I don't like these movies, man. It's just,
you know what I feel like? I feel like Michael Bay should have stepped down as director from the first one.
He totally should have. He's been trying to do that, but I guess the money keeps like.
They just like the studio like comes with a dump truck full of money. Like, you sure you want to quit?
Right? That's seriously what it feels like. Yeah. That's seriously, and the dude is basically, after the first one especially, he's basically just directing music videos without music.
Well, yeah, it's like it feels like beat for beat, it's the same film. Dude. Maybe and I can't say the explosions get any louder. They've always been loud.
Well, there's no plot, man, anymore. There's a skeleton of a story in each movie, and none of them are good.
Maybe if they brought Shia LaBeouf back.
It's not even. I know a lot of people don't like Shia LaBeouf that much, but Shia LaBeouf's a very talented actor. Yeah. But he can't save this franchise. He was barely good in the first one. And that wasn't his fault.
No.
It was the script, the writing on that movie. I actually read the script before it even came out because it leaked online, and I was like, okay.
I hate the designs for him.
Well, they look too organic, and it sucks is they get more organic looking as the movies go on. In the first one, they at least sort of have a square kind of robotic.
I like the blocky look.
Yeah,
why can't they look like that?
Because they don't look realistic.
But in my head, if you built wasn't there a dude in Japan that actually built like a car that could transform into a robot? But that's literally all it can do. It can just zing, zing. It can't drive. It can't move.
Oh no, I've never seen that.
Yeah, but it looks blocky because that's how it would look.
Well, see.
So in my head, no, that is realistic because a big blocky thing turning into a robot. That's how it would have to look.
Right.
This whole they look kind of like humans and shit. It's like. Well, no, that's unrealistic.
Yeah, they don't have to look like humans. I think. Well, you know how I remember when the first one came out. Like they said, the reason they gave them mouths and stuff was so that the audience would be like, "Oh, okay, this is recognizable."
Well, couldn't they just be glowing and it glows like the way they talk?
That totally would work. I was just about to say that works. I don't know why people, or particularly big movie studios, feel like something that doesn't work, that has worked before.
There's always that one asshole that'll give that dumbass note. Like, I think if you do it this way, it'll be.
And they listen to
you. Don't fucking know anything about it,
right?
It's like you told me that story the other day, going back to Terminator, where how when they're doing T3, they actually got the original actor. Like in the opening scene of T2, there's that old actor that plays John Connor in the war.
Yeah.
And he was actually going to come back for that one little shot of T3.
Yeah.
But then somebody said, "Oh, he looks too old. Why don't we just get Nick Stahl and put an old man makeup?" And it's like, and you said it was the makeup artist that suggested that. And you're like, who cares? If I was the director, I'd have said, your opinion, I don't give a shit about. It's like, we're doing this because it will be. Who cares what you think?
Exactly,
it's like,
man.
And I hate to say that. It's like, I'm sure that makeup artist is very talented, but it's like,
well, look,
I'm in charge of the creative shit. I can give an opinion. But that doesn't mean I get to listen to it.
Right. I think the only reason he listened to him is probably because I think he was actually the same makeup artist for T2. I might be wrong about that, but I think that's why.
Yeah, but Jim Cameron would have balled up and said, "Well, it's my fucking franchise."
Oh, of course. But I think because Jonathan Mostow was coming on to somebody else's property, basically. And he was like,
"Sack up, dude. I'm sorry."
I know. But he was probably like, "Hey, okay, this guy's worked on the other movie."
But then we see that, and it's like, look, if you watch T2, that's what John Connor looks like. But then you see that T3, and it's Nick Stahl and weird old.
What the fuck?
This looks stupid.
Yeah, it really does. He's got his old hair all slicked back and shit.
Yeah.
It's so fucking dumb. I mean, at least they gave him the scar, but I actually kind of hate that they did because now it just reminds me of how cool the first guy looked.
Yeah, because it looked organic. It looked natural.
Exactly. And I could see Edward Furlong growing up to be Michael Edwards.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
but anyway, but it's like I don't understand what Transformers that was a dumb thing. But Yeah, no, I agree, man. That movie series should die. I don't know how it still makes money. Because I stopped watching them after 2. You know what it is? I stopped watching them after 2.
Each one, I'll tell you like this. It's a male testosterone fueled franchise, man. Especially teenage. It's got a hot girl who honestly gets progressively hotter in each movie.
Okay.
That's all. Number 1, it's got giant fucking robots, cool cars, and it's got fucking explosions. And that, for a teenager, especially nowadays, who most of them have fucking ADD, basically, that's all you really need.
So you think that's why, like, the Fast and Furious movies still go strong?
You know what? I hate that we have to bring that up, because I like the Fast and Furious franchise.
No, I like the Fast and Furious franchise.
But!
I feel like they keep it smart, though.
Yeah.
Or, well...
Somewhat, yeah.
Somewhat, yeah. Yes. Well, they at the end of the day, there's always the gratuitous ass shot.
Yeah.
Fast cars. There's always that race scene.
Of course, yeah.
There's a big fucking fight scene with a big buffed up dude.
Yeah.
And you got, Vin Diesel talking about family and shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's all about family.
Yeah, it's about family. Even though it's like, did you fuck the family over in the last one?
Right.
Well, I did it for family.
Yeah.
What? I know.
Yeah,
I know the story. But
yeah.
But here's the thing. They try to have heart. Mm-hmm. So I give them credit that, like, okay, but they're trying at least. Mm-hmm. And they don't always succeed, but they're trying.
Yeah.
Even their weakest one, which is a lot of people say is Tokyo Drift.
That's my favorite one.
I love Tokyo Drift.
Yeah,
I can't say enough good things about that
movie. I love that one.
It's the best 90s fish out of water movie made in 2006.
It really is, though, man, in a lot of ways. And like you said, it had heart, and it had like a nice, tight knit little story. Mm-hmm. It wasn't trying to be something like huge, and it's like it. And for us, what was going to be originally just going to be a spin-off.
Yeah, but they tie it all back in.
Yeah, man. And I felt like I think they did great with it.
Yeah, sure.
And they also had a great director, Justin Lin. So.
I love Justin.
Yeah.
Justin rocks, man.
Yeah, man.
Give that man work. More work.
Yeah. And he's kind of the franchise king in his own right now.
Yeah. Franchise saver to some.
Yeah, dude. What else you got, man? To finish up with Transformers, they need to die, man.
Well, it's like he's just making the same movie over and over again. Mm-hmm. And I think some people are getting smart about it, because didn't this one, even though it still made money, it actually was the lowest one so far?
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, so I think people are catching on.
I hope so, but now they're doing a Bumblebee spin-off.
Like, is this going to be like a prequel, or is it just
It's a prequel. It's set in the 80s. So... Is
it going to be the Volkswagen this time?
I don't know. I hope so. That would be awesome. But
I want to be the Volkswagen since the first one.
I highly, highly doubt it.
I remember, like, when they were doing the first one, Volkswagen just said, no, you can't use the model.
Mm-hmm. Why the fuck could they use them in the cartoon back in the 80s?
Because it was for a kid's show, I guess.
That doesn't make any goddamn sense.
I didn't say it made sense. Yeah. I said maybe that's the... I don't know the... But, it's like maybe they... I don't know, it's like Michael Bay. They're like, no. But, like, when they see they make money, it's like, come on, dude, we're giving you free promotion pretty much.
Yeah, well, I know that GM, General Motors, like, is the only company that really has their cars in the Transformers movies.
Couldn't they design a car that's sort of like a Volkswagen-looking thing, and they could have just used that?
That'll probably be too expensive for them to do, yeah.
Well, they could just make an original model, and it's just for the movies. And then maybe they make, like, a couple, like, 100 replicas that, some asshole's going to buy for, like,
yeah, but, prototype cars and all that, the work to put into design.
They did it for the Batmobile and the first Tim Burton Batmobile.
I know. Yeah. I know. But, they're probably worried about copyright shit, and they're probably just like, hey, let's, I think I read somewhere that, like... I do think I read somewhere that, that General Motors provided a lot of the funding for the movie.
Well, and
the first one.
Yeah, well, like, I heard, like, one of the ways it's been, like, kind of consistently making more money is, like, in 4... Mm-hmm. They shoot, like, the last half in Hong Kong and shit like that, so they're really trying to appease
the Asian market?
Of course, man. They're really trying to, like...
Well, Transformers is Takara-owned, Japanese property.
Well, yeah. I mean, and, like, of course, China is the second, is the first, like...
I think now it is.
Yeah. So it's like studios are always trying to appeal to them, like, what can we throw in to appeal to the Asian market? It's just like...
Oh, they always throw, like, a Hong Kong actor or actress in the movies.
Oh, yeah, or just an Asian actor in general. Uh-huh. Like we saw Terminator Genesis, and it was like, dude from I Saw the Devil is the T-1000.
That's right! That's right.
Which, in my opinion, it's like, this is, like, the perfect time we should do a Dragon Ball Z movie with a predominantly Asian cast.
I'm telling you.
I know. It's like, it would work. I mean, like, you know, but you do the story right, you know, like, because they, dude, if you fuck up that story,
I know,
and you sell it to the Asian market, dude, they're gonna like the pitchforks and everything.
Oh, of course. Well, you saw the reaction to Evolution. God, but you know, luckily
they tried to make that into a franchise, that like fucking stinger ending. Piccolo's alive, and this woman is mysteriously carried. I don't fucking care.
People laughed at that in the theater.
We laughed at that.
Yeah. Like, what? What is that even? What? No.
Yeah. Sorry, we don't want to do another podcast about you.
Yeah. Okay. Back to franchises. Fuck Transformers. I want to talk about Star Wars real quick.
Okay, so let's talk about the franchises that do work.
Yeah.
Like, okay, so there is Star Wars.
Yes.
Technically, there have been...
They're kind of milking it a little bit.
With the actual episodes, no. With these spin-offs, I don't know, I feel like it's too early to tell.
How'd you feel about Rogue One?
Okay, so Rogue One. This is Nick Nielsen's opinion on Rogue One. Didn't hate it.
Yep.
Didn't love it. Questions if he likes it. Knows he didn't hate it, but he doesn't know if he likes it. He just like, I guess this exists.
Okay. Why? What turned you off about this movie?
I just didn't care.
I hear you.
I just didn't care about the story. I already knew the story.
I feel like Jen Erso is one of the worst leads in any movie. Like,
I just think she's underutilized and underdeveloped. I like the actress.
No, she's a decent actress, I guess. She seems to play the same person every movie, in my opinion.
No, but like she's good. Like, but they don't do anything with her character. Like, they really don't. Like, some of the more interesting characters in that movie are the side characters, like
Baze.
Donnie Yen's character.
Yeah, Baze and Chirrut.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh god, the droid as Casey.
Oh, K2SO.
K2SO. Fantastic.
Bodhi Rook, Riz Ahmed. You didn't like him at all?
And I literally, the three characters I said were the most interesting.
You didn't like Diego Luna's character?
Again, I felt he was underdeveloped and underutilized.
Okay, I did like one part where he actually, it kind of shows the two sides of war, where he kind of ends up shooting the guy in the alleyway, and it's kind of like, wow, who are the bad guys here, the rebels or the Empire, really?
Yeah, but I just didn't care.
Okay, all right, fair enough.
And then, in Darth Vader, I argue, is totally shoehorned in that film. It's a cruel scene at the very end. But it's just shoehorned. It, like, what does it have to do with the rest of the plot?
Well, I think wasn't that a reshoot, actually?
It was a total reshoot.
Yeah.
But it's like, but what does this have to do with the fucking plot?
I think they just wanted to give Darth Vader a cool moment, like you said.
Well, I think somebody watches and they're like, there's no Jedi, where are the lightsabers?
Yep, there's not enough Darth Vader in this
movie. There's no lightsabers in this movie. And it's like, well, this movie's not about lightsabers. Exactly. It's not about Jedi.
It's supposed to be a war film.
Yeah, it's supposed to, and like, yeah, with the time period this takes place in, like, I will be pissed. I'm not gonna lie. I might be a little pissed if somehow a lightsaber pops up in the Han Solo.
Han Solo. I don't think you'll see that. I really don't.
I'm just saying I'll be pissed if one shows.
You might see a lightsaber, but you might not see it turned on.
You know, it's like, nothing a blaster can't handle. You know, it's like I've seen a lot of weird things in this universe.
Han Solo needs to be a Western man.
I agree. It's like not every Star Wars movie needs a fucking lightsaber. I get it. It's very, like, iconic in the franchise.
But these are supposed to be spin-offs, and not every movie has to have the Jedi in it.
Of course.
If
you want to do a spin-off with Jedis, do a spin-off with Jedis. If you don't.
There honestly doesn't have to even be, like... I kind of hope they don't even have, like, a Force-related character in it at all.
Well, I heard that Donnie Yen's character might make a cameo.
Really? So it's before that.
That's
right, duh, because it takes place a few
10
minutes.
10 years before.
Yeah, I'm saying Rogue One takes place a few minutes before.
Technically Rogue One ends like 5 minutes later. That's when New Hope happens.
That's right. That's
one day we should just like chronologically watch with the spin-offs, like just all the movies.
All of them?
Yeah.
See how they all tie together?
Well, it's like, because then you got the animated Clone Wars and you watch that in between episodes.
Oh god, that would be an epic saga.
I know. I finally watched Clone Wars.
Which one?
The cartoon movie.
The one that was 2D animated?
No, it's 3D animated. Like, it's an actual movie.
Oh, you're talking about I know you're talking about the one where Ahsoka's first introduced.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. What'd you think? Yeah? I remember that was in theaters, man.
It was in theaters. And I skipped it because I was like, that looks dumb.
Yeah, I said the same thing. But did you just didn't like it at all, really?
No, because it's like, it didn't show me anything that I just
didn't
care. It's like, it didn't.
I feel you.
It didn't affect the rest of the franchise.
I hear you.
It kind of felt like, all right.
I personally, outside of watching the first 2 seasons of Rebels, which was good. But
I hear Rebels is good.
It's really good. I just kind of got bored with it because I stopped caring. But
that's fair.
I don't think for me, just as a general fan of Star Wars, I don't need anything outside the sagas.
Like the original, like episodes.
Yeah, I don't need anything outside of those.
Yeah. Well, like anything before the original franchise, I'm kind of like, okay, I don't care.
Yeah, I've never read any of the books.
I don't give a shit. To be fair, I would love to know what happened after Return of the Jedi and The Force Awakens. Right. I want to know what happened with Luke.
Well, that story's kind of going to be told in Battlefront 2, the game, but it's going to be told from the Empire side. But
well, the Empire's like destroyed at that point, right?
Yeah, that's what it's about. Okay. Like, there's remnants out there, who eventually end up becoming the First Order.
I know, Empire sympathizers, right, or something.
Kinda, yeah. But we got. I wonder if we're gonna go find out what happened to Luke. Really,
we'll probably find out in The Last Jedi.
I hope they don't kind of cover or skim over that.
And we're gonna save it all for 9.
Yeah, man.
Oh, great.
I feel like Star Wars, even though I'm really happy we're getting 7, 8, and 9.
Well, because we've been talking about this since we were kids.
Oh, dude, totally.
I remember having full-on conversations about a new trilogy with Luke.
What would happen? And we had the books back then, which I never read, but I always heard about them, with the twins and all that.
I'm glad they decided to discard it and just start fresh.
Yeah, I agree.
Some of it got convoluted.
Yeah. And also, it gives you surprises. Nobody knows what's going to happen now. So if you knew what was going to happen...
and I had some real hardcore Star Wars fans who, they love... who didn't... Because Luke had a wife. What was her name?
Mara Jade.
And they're like, oh, Mara Jade's not going to be in this. Well, they didn't say that. They just said they're going to do their own thing.
Yeah.
Technically, Kylo Ren's real name is Ben. Ben Solo. I know it's supposed to be Ben Skywalker.
Yeah.
Luke's son, but instead of... But they kept that little stuff,
Yeah, they dropped little homages here and there, to have the fans kind of have a little smile and stuff, which is fine.
Yeah. But I love. Look, here's the thing. I love the Star Wars episodes, but I'm open-minded to the spin-offs, and I can see why they'd want to do spin-offs. I don't know, man. It's I'm still on the fence. I don't know if it's a good idea. I don't know if it's a bad idea. It's just. On paper, it's okay, well, this could be good.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
I feel like it's cool to have an awesome, well-rounded, expanded universe.
Sure, yeah, absolutely.
But
it should have a purpose, though. Yeah. And I don't know if they quite have a purpose. Rogue One...
I don't give a shit about Boba Fett.
Unless it's just a full-out fun movie... I don't care.
Yeah.
Or are you telling me something that will are you revealing a secret?
Mm-hmm. But that's why I feel like they're milking it, man. I feel
it's Rogue One. What does it ultimately reveal? I thought maybe it was going to tie in to this new trilogy. Jane Erso, maybe she Rey's mom? See, that could have been, but imagine if that
she dies. Yeah.
Well, we know she dies. Yeah. But, the movie she could have lived.
Right.
I always thought they were going to do a scene, maybe it ends with, her escaping, or she was the only survivor, maybe she bumps into, a DH Mark Hamill or something. She goes, hi. Or something, I don't know.
Okay, yeah, I got you. Nah, it's just milk, man.
Well, if they serve a purpose, great, but they don't.
No.
Yeah.
I don't feel like they're necessary.
No. It's total fan service.
It is, man. And it's like you said.
I would argue they're glorified Star Wars fan films, which I like some Star Wars fan films.
Yeah, but you're absolutely right. That's pretty much what they are.
Yeah.
They're giving big filmmakers or starter filmmakers who are starter in the big studios,
like Gareth Edwards and now Ron Howard, not Lord Miller anymore.
Oh man, what the hell? What the hell happened there, man?
You know what? I don't know. I've heard conflicting reports. I heard they were deviating from the script.
They were
letting improv happen.
Oh, so horrible at improv.
But hey, how is that? That different from when Edgar Wright left Ant-Man. But didn't he? But I never heard the full story. Did he leave or did he get fired?
He apparently left.
He full on said, "I ain't doing this."
I don't think it was like that. We'd have to do some more research on that, but I don't think he was fired.
Okay. Well, do you remember why the ultimate, what was to your best of knowledge, why do you remember?
They wanted him to do something. Okay, so he wanted to make a heist film.
Sure.
which is kind of what we got with Baby Driver in a little bit.
Kind of.
In like, spaces.
Sure.
And Marvel wanted it to be like a Marvel movie that connects to everything else,
as they would, because that's their product.
Exactly, and they're all about the shared universe, which I still like. Even with the heist film, he could have connected it, but his vision was something else, and he kind of wanted to be its own thing.
Sure.
And obviously, Marvel was like, it kind of makes sense. He wanted to be its own thing, which I'm probably sure that Lord Miller kind of wanted Han Solo to be its own thing.
Sure.
And they were like, no.
But, okay, so like, James Gunn does the first Guardians of the Galaxy.
Whew, shout out to James Gunn.
Love him.
Yeah.
That's totally still a Marvel film that's connected to everything else. But that first one is totally its own. Even 2, it's totally its own thing. So why couldn't Edgar Wright just sort of meet him in the middle?
I think Edgar Wright, with whatever Edgar Wright was going to do...
Because he was on that thing for 9 years.
I know, man. Whatever his style was going to be with that movie, it probably was just so out there, they were probably like, this doesn't mesh. Because with Guardians of the Galaxy, even though it's like...
But dude, that could have been a new franchise right there. That could have been his Guardians of the Galaxy.
I personally really enjoyed
Ant-Man. I like Ant-Man.
Like, I like it a lot.
Yeah. But I feel like if Edgar had stayed on and done his version, I could have loved
cool.
it.
Yeah. It could have been really damn cool.
Yeah, I mean, like, they're like they shoehorn in Falcon in there. And it's not a bad scene, but it's like...
But he's totally shoehorned in there. It's like, hey, look at the Avengers. They're in the universe.
Right.
And
he steal this thing. Hi, I'm Scott. Did you just say, hi, I'm Scott?
and he probably didn't want to do something like that either.
Maybe. Well, this is what I heard, and this is a recent thing.
Go ahead.
Apparently for the final draft, they brought in the other writer. And he said, why are we doing a draft? And he's like, why am I not a part of this new draft? He's like, well, we're just
going to... Edgar Wright?
Yeah.
Okay.
And Kevin Feige's like, well, no, we're just going to like tie, do some Easter eggs. And then he's like, well, why am I not a part of it? It's like, well, we're just doing this. Like, if I'm not a part of the writing of the script, the final draft, I don't want to be a part of it. Like, if you're going to do it without me, you may as well do it with someone else. So that's what I heard. Like, they were basically like, this is a business. This is just what we do. And he goes, I'm either in it 100% or not in.
Well, yeah, it is kind of shady. They kind of went behind his back a little bit.
No, but they told him. They weren't like, I don't think it was going behind his back. I think they were just like, well, no, like, this is like, it's a franchise. We've got to make sure it's all connected.
Okay,
and he's like, well, if I'm not a part of it, then...
Okay. He wanted it, like I said, he wanted to be 100%.
100%. But dude, when you sign on to do... At the end of the day, man, when you sign on to another property that you did not create...
And a big franchise like that?
Yeah. It's like, dude, you gotta play ball. You're not in your sandbox. You're in their sandbox.
Yeah, you're a little subservient to the creator, man.
Yeah. It's like somebody, like when you build a house, like at the end of the day, it's who's going to live in this house. They're paying the bills.
Yeah.
You can design it and be artistic in your way, but if they say, no, we want it this way.
You got to do what you got to do.
Yeah.
You
can suggest to do it your way.
Yeah.
And if you guys can't make an agreement, you don't agree to the first place. Now you hear horror stories like with the Fantastic Four and them doing reshoots.
Okay. I like Fantastic
Four.
Fuck
Josh Trank's Fantastic Four.
I know people really hate that movie, but
no. Even with the reshoots, I hated that idea.
No, you know what?
I hated the idea. I hated the idea.
I liked the body horror thing.
It's no. You know what that is? That is a good Marvel what if story or an alternate universe comic book story.
It's a comic book movie.
Not as a franchise film to start its own franchise. I think no, that does not work.
Okay, all right.
There's some great what if stories in all of comics, DC, Marvel, Star Wars, whatever.
Yeah.
Where they do, okay, this is the main franchise, this is the what if franchise, this is the spin-off, this is the reboot.
Yeah.
Some of it works, some of it doesn't work.
Yeah.
There's some shit in like the Ultimate Marvel stuff that I like, but I would not want to see that in a movie.
Okay.
Yeah. Does that make sense?
It does. I just feel like
dude, and I love like the Ultimates.
Yeah.
Like the Avengers.
Never read them, but
like dude, like Ant-Man is a fucking wife beater that like beats his wife, and then Captain America comes and like kicks his fucking ass.
Oh, so he's kind of like he's abusive like he is in the comic.
Oh yeah.
I know he used to like Hank Pym, I think was.
It's totally Hank Pym, and then like she's in the fucking hospital, and Cap finds out about this, so he like finds Hank in a bar, and he says, "Step outside," and he says, like, look, Steve, I'm sorry, come here, I'll buy you a beer. He's like, no. He grabs him, like, throws him outside. He's like, so you think you're a tough guy, huh? You want to hit women? And then he starts, like, beating him up. He goes, go on, grow big. I want you to do it. So he's like, you asked for it. He grows big, and Cap still kicks his ass.
Oh, shit.
And it's, I love that scene. It could have worked in a movie. But with what Marvel's doing, it doesn't work.
They're trying to make it a little more family friendly.
Well, and when you're owned by Disney, you get it. And it's like, dude, if you throw some shit like that in,
it gets pretty dark.
So I get why they didn't go that route. Like why it's Scott now in Ant-Man, not Hank Pym, because Hank's got a lot of history with.
Well, they have Hank's in there, and they definitely
Hank's in there, but they totally sideline him.
Well, yeah, but they do allude to his history. The suit kind of drive him a little crazy.
Slightly, yes.
Putting a lot of mental stress on him. But I just feel like something like Fantastic Four could work still because we've been hearing rumblings that they're still going to try and do a reboot of that.
Yeah, I hope not. I hope it just slowly dies. I hope Marvel slowly just come here, baby.
I don't think they're going to do it with the Fox group anymore, though. I think Marvel is trying to get the rights back.
I think, look, they've lost. Fox is an idiot if they want to try to hold on to those because they keep losing money on them. Because fans at this point are just like, guys, you keep fucking up. We're not going to watch this movie anymore.
Fans at this point only really care about X-Men and now Deadpool.
I would say more Deadpool than X-Men. And Deadpool was a happy accident.
I think that Deadpool is going to usher in a lot of really great things as far as like the more mature side of the Marvel Universe, honestly.
Maybe.
For damn sure, that's the best version of Colossus we've seen on screen.
Yes. I like how they don't try to... They try to take it more into the comic X-Men and not Bryan Singer's X-Men.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Which I think is the better way to go. Like, Deadpool's costume looks like Deadpool's costume.
Yes.
They don't try to, like, fucking make him look like a pale...
That's Tim Miller, man, staying true to what he knows, dude.
Yeah. And they even totally do homages to the MCU. Like, when Wade is, like, delivering the pizza to the dude at the beginning, it's called Feige's Pizza.
Oh, I didn't even notice that.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Well, they apparently were like, they communicated and just like, hey, like, we want to stay true to the character, and we know it's owned by a different company, but look, we have the best intentions.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
That's really cool. I really like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Deadpool's a franchise that I'm actually really excited about seeing where it goes.
Mm-hmm.
They already have, I think they announced 3 is going to be happening later on, too.
Deadpool 3?
Mm-hmm. Because we got Deadpool 2, X-Force, and then you're going to have a sequel to Deadpool later on.
That's cool.
Yeah. And of course, you're bringing in Cable now. So
some people were arguing that like Cable can't work because he's got such a convoluted backstory. It's like, nah, fuck it, bring it in. Like,
dude,
make the convoluted backstory a joke at this point. You know,
well, it's a Deadpool movie. They can literally do pretty much whatever the hell they want, man.
Right.
At this point, and Josh Brolin's playing him, so it's.
I would love to see the X-Men meet Deadpool.
Like the actual. Would you want to see new X-Men?
Or, like X-Men Apocalypse. Like a lot of people were complaining like how it wasn't a strong movie, but I argue, wasn't. Okay, so like around the same time, like you have Civil War coming in, and Spider-Man coming into that movie was a huge surprise. Nobody, there was rumblings we heard,
except for when they revealed him in all the fucking trailers.
But it was the very last trailer.
Yeah, I wish they'd have kept that secret though.
Hey everyone,
I really wish they'd have kept that a secret.
I don't know, because before I was like, okay, this looks like a good movie. Then I saw Spider-Man, like, I gotta see this.
Okay, all right.
Yeah. Because they announced the deal, but they didn't announce when he was coming in.
That's true.
That's true. Yeah. Imagine if they had done X-Men Apocalypse. Imagine it's the final showdown, and like everyone's battling Apocalypse, and suddenly like you see bullets hit him. He's like, "What the?" And all of a sudden you just see like everybody like does the parody where he just comes in, he goes, "Hey everyone."
With Deadpool?
Yeah.
Oh my god, that'd been freaking awesome. I would have liked that, but they couldn't have gone full on Deadpool though.
Someone had suggested this, like a fan's like, well, what if you bring him in, like, whenever he curses, it actually bleeps him, and then he acknowledges, why am I being bleeped? Oh, it's a 13 movie.
That would have been awesome!
Right.
That's a great idea. I like that, actually. Yeah, and it still totally keeps him in character with the fourth wall breaking.
Well, yeah, and then everyone's like, well, how does he exist in this, like, 1980s time? And it's like, there's a white light, and, like, he comes through, like, oh, sorry, Cable dropped me in this. You'll find out in Deadpool 2.
Dude!
And it's like Deadpool 2. It's like, it's like, hey, is this a time machine? Hold on. And he comes back. Whoa, dude, I just fought Apocalypse. That was cool.
That is awesome. I like that, actually. I like that idea a lot, actually.
Look, as a writer, it's like, why not do something like that? Like, he's already a fun character. The fans will cheer, dude. You will see, like, your movie will go up 10 notches if they find out Deadpool's in Apocalypse.
Oh, for damn sure now, man.
Yeah.
Let's see, man. So, okay, we've covered Transformers, X-Men, Star Wars.
Let's talk about the big franchise that is, like, still, like, the gold franchise right now. The MCU.
Oh, boy.
So, now, even though I said I gave Guardians of the Galaxy 2 a pass, and I said it's not as good as the first one, I'm still, like, I'm still with the MCU, man, at this point.
I agree.
Doctor Strange, I thought that was a fun movie. What was the last one before that? Like
Civil War.
Civil War. Loved fucking Civil War. I'm stoked for Thor Ragnarok.
Yeah. Oh man, looks so great, dude.
Now I didn't see Homecoming just because I've had a busy schedule, but you saw it.
Yeah. Spider-Man: Homecoming was a good movie, but I honestly feel like it's a little overrated.
But do you feel like it's a good return to form, like a good, like, okay, we're not doing the Sam Raimi Spider-Mans anymore. We're not doing the amazing Mark Waid Spider-Mans.
They're definitely trying to do their own thing again. But
like, do you feel like this feels like Spider-Man? This is Peter Parker.
He's becoming Spider-Man.
Yeah, he's still a kid.
Yeah. You see more of who he's going to be in later movies by the end of the movie.
Sure.
But it just for most of the movie, it felt like a teenage comedy.
But is that a bad thing?
I'm not gonna say it's a bad thing, but it's not a great thing. It's definitely a good thing.
Why is it not a great thing? Because he's still a high school kid at the end of the day.
Yeah, I know, and it's gonna bring new people into the franchise, which is great. But it's just I maybe I'm just being an old fogey at this point.
Well, what's Prince Johnson's Spider-Man? Like,
I'm not saying this because it was Sam Raimi Spider-Man, but I just loved Spidey when he had adult problems.
You see, I'm going to take it a step back because, like, when I was a kid and I read Spider-Man, he was still in high school.
Okay.
Like, he eventually becomes an adult.
Right.
Like, honestly, like, I loved the beginning of the first Spider-Man where he's still in high school.
Okay.
But then, like, he's only in high school for the first third or fourth of the film.
Yeah, yeah.
And then he's graduated and he's in college. And I'm like, oh, well, what about him still being in high school? I feel like there was such uncharted territory that could have happened in that time.
Well, I think that's exactly why.
And granted, like, Tobey Maguire was like, what, 27 when he got cast or whatever?
Yeah. But he had like a kind of a youthful look to him still.
I know, dude, but I'm 29. It's like if I got cast as a high schooler. Like,
I know what you mean.
Would you believe, like, even if I shaved, would you believe that I'm a high schooler?
Barely.
I'd fuck you. I'm not a high schooler.
But I know exactly. I understand what you're saying, and I feel like because of what you just said, that's exactly why they chose to go back to the basics.
But like even the beginning of Spider-Man's story, Stan Lee, and when him and Jack Kirby were writing Spider-Man, like they were.
He was in high school still.
Yeah, he was in high school for like a good while.
Yeah.
Like first 10 years or so, and like they acknowledge there's a lot of great stories. That could be told, and they got a really young kid, you know, like Tom Holland's only what, like 19, 20?
Yeah,
19.
I think he's 20 now.
Okay,
but yeah, he's got the perfect like balance of like the look and just his overall like attitude, his demeanor, all he just feels.
Well, but that is their intro because like it feels like every MCU hero, like I know like a lot of the origin stories are like them trying to discover being a superhero, how to find that balance, but it's like at the end of Iron Man, he's Iron Man. At the end of Doctor Strange, he's becoming Doctor Strange.
He's already Spider-Man in this movie.
He already is, but he's not
Spider-Man. Yeah,
he's still learning.
Yep.
But he's a high school kid too, so he's still got that.
Right. He goes through a very similar as what Tony goes through in a couple of the Iron Man films and in like the Captain America films, with struggling with being a hero without the suit.
Well, and it's good that he's in high school because he has to deal with that balancing act. Like, like he's like, I'm still in high school. I have to fight these villains. They could kill me. I could die. My friends and family, if they found out, they could be hurt.
Right, you know? And they definitely talk about that in that movie.
I feel like this is such a strong step in the right direction. So, like, that's why I'm like, I give it a pass.
Okay,
even though I haven't seen it, it's like, but in concept, that's great.
I understand. I honestly would like to see it again. Like, I can't wait for it to come out on release, or I might see it again in theaters while it's still there. But I feel like it does deserve a couple watches to really absorb exactly what Peter's going through.
Right.
But I do agree. It's a good step in the right direction. I just personally miss Peter's adult problems, but we're definitely going to get there.
Sure. Okay, but why is the Marvel Cinematic Universe the ultimate point why I brought this up? Why are we not franchise fatigued quite yet with this one? Like, why is it still going strong?
I think because with every movie we're getting really cool different stories. Even in the ones that are like the same franchise, like we have like Thor 1, 2, 3.
Sure,
each one's different.
Yeah.
Each one's different so far.
But do you feel it's also they're all building to something?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I always feel like
these movies have a purpose.
Yes, they all feel like they're coming to like a specific type of head,
which is Infinity War.
Yeah,
and now, actually, did I tell you that I heard a rumor about what 4 might be?
What?
Secret Invasion.
What happens in Secret Invasion?
No, that's the storyline. Yeah, because they're introducing Skrulls in the Captain Marvel movie. So part 4 might be Secret Invasion.
Well, oh, and Captain Marvel takes place in the 80s, I heard.
90s.
Okay. Oh, man. Mm-hmm. All right. Okay. All right.
They got a purpose. There's something's going on. You know.
Mm-hmm.
They have meetings years in advance where they have like timeline charts.
Oh.
They're very. There's a couple plot holes here and there, but they cover it well for the most part.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, they have to, man. They can't miss anything. It's like these are franchises with literally like decades of history.
Of course, yeah. And they want the movies to be like that. They want it to be kind of seamless. Like maybe you get a little glitches here and there, but it's
natural because there's so much material to pick from. Like
and at the end of the day, you are handing it off to a different writer, a different filmmaker, and
they want to do something slightly different. You know,
something like kind of gets overlooked. Like oh shit, but
right.
Whatever, just chalk it up. Suspension of disbelief.
And I don't get franchise fatigue from the Marvel movies because overall, I'm always getting a quality movie. There's several Marvel movies where I am like, okay, I didn't really like that one that much. Like Thor, I didn't like Thor 2 that much.
I didn't like Iron Man 2 and 3.
Yep,
but they're still well-made films.
Exactly, and I love that those characters in those movies, even though those are bad movies, you're still getting stepping stones, building blocks of those characters. Right, so when you see them pop up in other movies, it's like, okay, I've been with this character for a while, so it's like, I get who that person is.
Sure.
And I fully accept them in that new movie that they're in, even if it's not their movie. That's why Civil War works so well. That's why Avengers works so well.
Right.
And yeah, man, like that. Yeah.
Well, even Tony Stark, he's got a pretty overarching story through like 6 or 7 films now. Right?
Oh, dude, he's probably the most developed character besides Captain America so far.
Yeah.
And they're the 2 leaders.
Right.
So it makes sense for them.
I'm curious. What about these other franchises that are coming up that are trying to be a franchise? And I
like
already
what?
feel like I'm getting fatigued by it before they even come.
Give me an example.
Marvel's Dark Universe. Or not Marvel, Universal.
Oh, Universal? I think The Mummy got a lot.
You saw The Mummy. I didn't see The Mummy.
I did. The Mummy got a lot of shit. I thought it was a very fun, entertaining movie. It had some stupid parts too, also.
But does it... Just because it's fun, does fun mean franchise?
Well...
Especially, this is supposed to be horror, isn't it?
It's horror, action, adventure. And they're talking about Channing Tatum being Van Helsing, by the way.
I read that. I'm curious, but I'm like,
I'm not exactly excited for that. I don't know. Like Channing Tatum's become a much better actor, but anyways, that's not here or there. Franchise, as far as I'm.
Well, they're talking about doing Bride of Frankenstein, Invisible Man.
I don't think. Well, I can't say that. I was about to say I don't think they should start off with the idea of like just okay, this is going to be a franchise. Just focus on making a good movie.
And they're already introducing like, okay, Dr. Henry Jekyll has a secret organization that's following all these monsters.
Yeah, he's like the big
he's like the Nick Fury.
Basically, yes.
But it's like, why?
And he's a monster too.
Well, yeah, because he's got the split personality or something. Mm-hmm. Yeah. But why? It's like set this shit up first before you do all this, man. It's like,
well, I think a lot of people are trying to jump on that bandwagon right now.
Yeah, but you can do it. But you can do it smart. Like this all has a purpose. Like what is it? Do we know the purpose of the Dark Universe?
No, I don't know what it could lead to. Other than
Abbott and Costello meet Frankenstein 2025.
The only thing I honestly can see that franchise leading to is the Van Helsing thing, where he's hunting all the monsters.
Or a House Frankenstein.
House of Frankenstein?
I mean, that's one of the first movies that they brought them all together.
Well, what purpose does that serve? Like, who is Van Helsing in that one?
Is Van Helsing in that one? No. In fact, Van Helsing's not. I think maybe he's only in the original Dracula. I think.
So the
original universe. I don't think Van Helsing's a force in that movie.
See, I don't know what. Yeah, like you just said, there's nothing I can see that leading to other than like a movie.
If we're going the original Universal horror movie, monsters, which I've seen some of them.
Okay.
You haven't seen any of them?
I've seen Dracula, and I've seen Frankenstein. I think I've seen probably pieces of Bride of Frankenstein.
That's the best one, man.
Okay, and I've seen The Wolfman.
You never saw Frankenstein meets the Wolfman?
No.
Oh, dude, it's great. See, and they're talking about bringing in The Rock as the Wolfman. So seeing The Rock fight Javier Bardem's Frankenstein monster, that'd be kind of fun.
Okay, so I'm hearing conflicting reports. I'm hearing that Tom Cruise's character, because something happens to him at the end of the first movie, in The Mummy, where he becomes a monster, but you don't ever see what happens to him physically. I'm hearing that he's going to be the Wolfman.
Maybe. I don't know.
And it's like, nothing is... I need to see more. Because I don't know how all this stuff's going to tie together.
It feels like... Because who is overall... It's Alec Kurtzman that's overrunning everything, right?
Well, he directed this movie. I don't know if he's
overseeing... But I thought he's overseeing the whole Dark Universe.
I'm not sure about
he's
that.
He's like laying the foundation or something.
I'm not sure about that, but...
That's what I'd heard. But I was like, I don't think he's the right guy to lay down a foundation for a franchise. That's me.
Well, hey, he gave us Transformers.
Again, I don't think Alex Kurtzman is the right man. And he also gave us Star Trek Into Darkness.
Yep, exactly. Two sides to every coin sometimes.
Well, I didn't say it was a good movie.
Into Darkness?
Yeah.
All right, Star Trek Into Darkness had its moments.
It overall tries to capture Wrath of Khan and fails miserably.
Well, and
I love Benedict Cumberbatch. I'll see him in just about anything. He does not save that movie.
No.
And he's good in it.
He is.
I think he's slightly miscast because...
Could have been Benicio, man.
Could have been... Well, because technically Khan is supposed to be Native American, though they cast a Spanish man and then they were going to cast a Spanish actor, and it just didn't quite happen.
Ricardo Montalban?
Yeah.
He was Hispanic.
That's what I'm saying.
Wait, you said he was supposed to be Native American.
He's supposed to be, but they cast a Spanish actor in the original.
That's fine.
No, I'm saying, but then in this new one, they cast a white guy, a British white guy.
Oh, I thought you were saying it like I was saying it should have been Benicio, and I thought you were saying no, like to that.
No, I said that, well, they tried.
Yeah.
And they even talked to another Spanish actor, I can't remember his name, but like they ultimately were trying to get that Ricardo Montalban.
Okay, yeah.
And it just never worked out.
Well, that sucks.
But at the end, maybe it was a blessing in disguise because Benicio is now going to be in The Last Jedi. We don't know who he's playing, but...
It's no freaking clue. DJ. Darth something.
Darth
Jaren?
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see.
I don't know.
Yeah. I just want to see him wield a lightsaber.
Yeah,
I hope it happens. Maybe he's not even a Jedi at all, or Sith. He's not.
We will see.
Okay.
His character wears like a little weird looking hat in like the behind the scenes footage.
Shrugging.
Yeah, I have no idea.
We'll find out in Christmas time.
Yep. Wow, that's crazy. It's only a few months away, man.
I know. We've only seen one trailer.
God. I'm glad they're kind of keeping everything kind of tight.
Oh, me too. Like, and you know what? At this point, I just needed that one trailer, and I'm already set. Yeah. I don't need to watch anything else.
It actually blows my mind too. Dark Tower comes out next week. There's only one trailer.
No, there's two trailers.
I think they're almost the same though.
No, there's some different stuff. I watched it,
but you really don't see that much different.
No, but that's fine.
No, that's what I'm saying. I like that.
Like, I know, like, a lot of people are complaining that there's like we don't see that much, but I've read the books. Like, this is like one of the few times I've read the books, and I'm actually looking forward to the movie. I know they're deviating quite a bit, and I'm like, you know what? Let them deviate. At this point, it's like I'll be pleasantly surprised, hopefully.
Okay, let me ask you, man.
Now that's a franchise they're trying to do too.
Oh, that's totally gonna.
And Dark Tower is like inadvertently it's kind of the Stephen King shared universe.
I was just about to say, we got that. We got It coming out in close proximity.
Maybe I heard rumblings. Maybe there might be a cameo in between films.
See,
we don't know yet. We'll have to watch them. So all the producers are in on the joke.
Yeah, man. So Stephen King's got they're kind of building his little cinematic universe too, in a sense.
Slightly. Yeah. And then there's also that TV show that J.J. Abrams is doing with Stephen King.
I forgot what it's called, man.
Castle Rock.
Yeah.
And it's supposed to be like a amalgam of every story.
Yeah, and we got The Mist too on TV now.
I feel like isn't there another one like Mr. Mercedes or something, or like there's something else, wasn't there?
Are you talking about American Gods? That's Neil Gaiman.
No, not American Gods. Mr. Mercedes.
Is that a Stephen King character?
I thought it was. I mean, it's not. Man, I'm thinking of something else.
Okay.
But anyway, well, Stephen King. How many different developments, projects?
Shitload. Shitload. The dude's written so many damn books, and usually they're all tied together somehow.
Inadvertently.
Very vaguely, yeah. But yeah. So let me ask you, how do you feel?
Okay.
About the Dark Tower. How do you feel about Idris Elba's role? And I want to know, like, from a white person's perspective too, like how you feel about that.
I've talked to you in private about this
a
bunch of times. I love Idris Elba. I think it's a great choice for him. He, like, if you had asked me like 5 years ago who would I have cast, he wouldn't have been on my list, but that's only because I would have tried to be accurate to the books. But when they announced it, I said, I love it. That's great.
Do you feel like the casting was to be PC, politically correct, or do you feel like
no?
What do you feel?
I feel like Idris Elba is one of the most talented actors of this generation and should have his own franchise, and it never happened. And then maybe somebody threw the idea of like we need a Clint Eastwood who's got that gravelly voice, who's still kind of young enough, but old enough to like carry that kind of character, because the character is initially supposed to be Clint Eastwood from The Good, the Bad, the Ugly.
Definitely.
Yeah. And it's implied maybe it's an older guy, like in his 40s or 50s.
Yeah. Idris Elba's like 42, 43.
Sure.
So he's around the right age for it.
Yeah, and dude, that voice, man, that voice is like, there are no gunslingers.
Yeah.
He's... I love him, man. Like, I've loved him ever since I watched him in, like, The Office. Yep. And, like, I've never seen Luther. Everyone recommends it to me.
Oh, it's fantastic, man.
I like him in the Thor films, but again, he's like a side character.
Yeah, totally.
Now his contract will be up later.
You know, it's funny, homie, he's always getting, like, controversial roles because, like, he's in Thor playing Heimdall, who was a Norse god character in the comics.
He's a British black man.
British black guy. He's also, they've been talking to him about possibly being James Bond for a long time.
They're talking to him about maybe being Doctor Who. He'd be the first black Doctor.
It's because he's a great actor, man.
Well, yeah, he needs to... They want to see him in more shit.
Right.
So, no, I think he's a great choice. My one problem, and this is what some people have the problem with, but this would be with the sequels. This wouldn't be with the next one.
Yes,
when he meets the character of Odetta, who becomes Susanna, happenstance, just read the fucking books. Or read Wikipedia, whatever.
Right.
I don't care. She is, these stories, they hop around different time periods, different dimensions, but they meet this woman named Odetta. She's a black woman with no legs from that civil rights era, and she has a split personality. That's why she goes between Odetta and Detta. And she's very untrustworthy towards white people. Like the split personality, the crazy one, thinks that all the honkies are gonna kill her, and she wants to kill all of them. And the idea is that when it's Roland and Eddie, when they meet her, she immediately tries to kill them, or she doesn't trust them because she thinks that they're these honkies that want to rape her.
Right.
And that's it. It's like, well, I guess if she sees Roland and he's black now, I guess maybe they just played off like she's crazy.
Right.
Or, she's like a Sam Jackson and Django Unchained type relationship. Like, he's one of them.
I was going to say, you had an interesting idea how you would fix that. Like...
slightly, but I mean... And
possibly they could go this direction if they choose to do the racism thing.
Yeah.
Which is part of that character, so I don't see why they wouldn't.
Yeah. Or, like I said, they could just go a generalized, she's just crazy.
Would you be okay with that as a fan of the books and the franchise?
I mean, I think it would take away some of the... character development, because she eventually learns to trust him. I don't want to go into what happens because it's very Stephen King and confusing as it is.
It's all right. Go.
Yeah. But there's a character arc of how she goes from wanting to not trust them, kill them, split personalities, become one. She trusts them. They're like a quartet. They're family. She falls in love with Eddie, and they have a relationship. Eddie Dean. Mm-hmm. Yeah. He probably won't be in this one. Maybe, I don't know. Aaron Paul was in talks a long time.
Yeah, no,
he's tweeted some stuff.
He wants to be that character, man.
Maybe he's.
I feel like they probably already got him.
Maybe we'll see. I feel like maybe it'll be a thing you'll see at the very end of the movie. Like he's got a 2-minute role in the movie.
Yeah.
Not even that. It's like you'll meet your quartet and you'll see him for a second.
Ooh, wouldn't that be awesome?
I mean, you read the fucking books.
Right.
Yeah. No, I think it just is great as
Roland.
Yeah, I think he's great as Roland. Matthew McConaughey, when they announced it, this is right after seeing season 1 of True Detective. I'm like, perfect. Mm-hmm. I always envisioned him with blonde hair, but not black hair. Yeah.
Okay. They changed his name too.
Well, no, he goes by various aliases because he appears in multiple books, always with a different name. Sometimes it's Walter O'Dim, sometimes the Man in Black, sometimes the Walking Dude, sometimes it's Randall Flagg.
What's his name in this one?
Walter O'Dim.
Is it O'Dim?
O'Dim. Okay. Well, Walter something, but yes, I think it's O'Dim.
Okay.
And in The Stand, it's Randall Flagg, and then in other stories, it's definitely something else.
Okay.
But anyway, that is a movie I wish it well because I love that story.
Yes.
And I hope it's successful because I want to see more of them. And if they deviate slightly, that's fine. I mean, a lot of those franchises that are based on books, they deviate. The Harry Potters deviate slightly.
Of course. Do you feel like people who are complaining a lot about Roland's casting?
I think that's kind of died down. No one gives a shit anymore. They realize that Idris Elba's a great actor and that he's fine in this role.
And not to call any racist or anything, but how do you feel about do you feel like just people are just kind of being ignorant at that point, if they don't? Yeah,
well, aside from me complaining about this would change something about the character developments, but then at the end of the day, I'm like, well, I mean, if I'm sure they've had meetings and they've talked about it. It has to have come up. If not, they're just like, what do we do? It's like, no, guys, if you want this to be a franchise, you got to like plan out, okay, well, if we cast this guy, this is going to affect this down the road.
Right.
Well, this is our answer to it. Then it's like, all right, cool, right on.
Right, because my thing was, I was kind of like, I was fine with the casting too, but my concern was like, well, does anything that the character has,
like, does his race actually play a factor?
Yeah, does it have anything to do when
aside from what I said? No, not really.
Right. Okay.
I mean, well, in the books they constantly talk about his bright blue eyes.
Right. I think they kind of give him like glowing blue eyes in this or something.
Was there a shot in the trailer?
I think so. I think it's because of the weapons he uses, the guns.
Well, they just talk about in general like he has bright blue eyes.
Yeah.
But well, if they give it, suspension of disbelief, I'll accept it.
Oh, yeah.
And to be fair, it's not that big of a deal if he doesn't have blue eyes, and that's fine.
Right. It's not like a huge deal for the character.
Not necessarily. No. Yeah. For me, anyway. I mean, I'll put it past him. All right, whatever.
I got you.
And look again, Idris rocks it. I just hope in the sequels they give him a cowboy hat. That's all.
Well, a lot of so this is a very common misconception in the book.
Well, in the artwork of the book, they always keep rolling a hat.
He always has a hat in the artwork.
It's a cowboy hat. Yeah.
But in the very first book, he does mention that he just lost his hat. Yeah.
And I forgot about that because it had been a couple years since I read the first book.
So he'll in the sequels he'll probably have the hat.
Sure.
If they go that direction. We'll and it'll probably get at the end of this movie. That'd be a cool shot, by the way, actually.
Puts on the hat.
Yeah.
I just want to hear him fucking play Hey Jude because that's a huge, like, that song.
They got the rights to
is
it?
An influence. Get the rights to it and do a cover of it. I know that's a cheaper way to go sometimes.
Right.
Yeah.
Hey, tell them about the little Easter egg you found, actually,
So this isn't something that they haven't...
Nobody's
I haven't heard anyone talk about it, but, like, the song in that trailer, that music box song, the other day I was, like, rewatching the trailer, I was like, that sounds really familiar. Now, when Stephen King originally came up with this idea, he envisioned, his inspiration was two things. It was Lord of the Rings and The Good, the Bad, the Ugly.
Yes.
Roland is basically Clint Eastwood's character in The Good, the Bad, the Ugly, sort of in a weird Lord of the Rings post-apocalyptic world. Now, the music from in that trailer, it's like this music box. It's the same damn music box from the Sergio Leone film For a Few Dollars More. When Lee Van Cleef and him are going on this adventure for revenge, it's the Necklace plays the music. It's that same tune, and I later rewatched the clip, and I found out that's the same song. Like, and I played the trailer, and I said, listen to this song, and I played the clip on YouTube. I was like, it's the same damn music.
Yeah, man.
I don't think anyone's caught that one yet. Like, that's their sort of Easter egg to, like, that's, this was inspired by the Leone films. This is our little homage to it.
It's pretty brilliant, too, because, like, I was like, when you said that, I was like, I think it is, man.
And then we played the clip, and I'm like, that's totally it.
That's awesome. I love that they did that.
Yeah.
That's huge respect.
I'm even though, like, I know Sony hasn't been the best with franchises. They dropped the ball with Amazing Spider-Man. They dropped the ball with Ghostbusters. I'm hoping this is one that they, like, treat with respect. Ron Howard's still a producer on it, so, like...
Oh, okay, great.
Oh, he's been a producer for a while.
Great,
in fact, for a long time, J.J. Abrams was in talk to.
I remember that, because I Lost and all that.
Yeah. Wow. But I'm... Yeah. I mean, I like J.J. Abrams, but I
understand.
I find flaws with some of his work.
Of course.
But not in a bad way. It's just, like, he keeps...
It's fine. Sometimes in a bad way.
No, I mean, like, he just keeps falling in this trap of, like, I'm going to set up this mystery that will be played out later. And I'm like... Well, what's the mystery? Well, I can't tell you that. Do you have something, or are you just pulling this out of your ass, dude? It's
he's got the whole mystery box thing he likes to do because of his grandfather, and that's how he kind of grew up. He liked...
But then I found out something about Lost, and I really criticized it, was that the writers never had an end goal. They were literally just making shit up as they went along.
Really?
Yeah.
What kind of...
And I just want to say, fuck you, dude. Because a lesson that I was always taught as a screenwriter was, like, there's nothing wrong with setting up mystery, but as a writer, you should always know the answer. You don't have to tell them. As a writer, you should always know the answer.
I hear you.
Yeah. Now, you can leave it ambiguous and leave it up to the audience, but as a writer, you should know. Like, Pulp Fiction. Tarantino should know what's in that fucking briefcase. He can never, he can be like, it's whatever you want it to be, but he should know what it is.
I hear you.
Yeah.
What was it supposed to be? Marcellus' soul or something?
It's whatever you want it to be.
God damn it.
I know.
Son of a bitch. All right. Okay. All right, so we've covered quite a few franchises here.
Have we missed anything? Is there something we really want to talk about, like the future of franchises, or like do we need franchises?
Like,
because what is a franchise nowadays? Is it just a shared universe?
No, I don't. I think partially yes.
I think part of it is just making sequel after sequel, making money.
Right.
Or spin-offs and sequels.
Right. And that, you know what? I think we go to the movies, man, to have fun, man.
We do.
Franchises is, even though some of them suck, some of them are also great.
Well, some of them have good movies and bad movies within a franchise.
Yes.
Rocky. I love all the Rocky movies.
Man.
Rocky 5's kind of weak.
I don't like Rocky 5.
Rocky 2 is kind of by the numbers, but I give it a pass.
It's basically Rocky 1 where he wins.
Yeah, so
that's literally it.
I know, I give that one a C. I give it a C. It still passes, but I'm like...
But son, okay, I don't give a shit what anybody fucking thinks. I love me some goddamn Rocky 4. Man.
I love Rocky 4 too.
That is my fucking... That's probably my favorite one besides...
And they bring it back with Creed. Which is such... It's basically a retelling of Rocky.
Yes.
But it works, man.
Yeah. And we got Creed 2 with Drago coming back.
I'm all on board. I'm like, man, yes.
The son of Drago versus the son of Apollo Creed.
Let's do this.
The revenge story, dog.
Oh, it's totally going to be a
revenge story. Man.
There's no easy way out. They got to bring back some of the Survivor music, man.
I really hope they just... I just want to hear...
It's an homage. That's all I need.
I just want to hear Eye of the Tiger once, man. Yeah, just at the end at least. Come on. I don't want a remix. I don't want no damn remix. I like what they did with Gotta Fly Now in the movie, but I want to hear the original Eye of the Tiger in that bitch.
But see, and that's a movie. That's a franchise still going strong, and like and that's been going since the 70s, mid late 70s.
That's how you do a fucking reboot.
Yeah, like it's still connected, but it's different. And that heart's still there. Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's totally a different director and writer coming in, asking Stallone, I got this concept. Mm-hmm. And you get Stallone involved too, man. Yeah. You get a little old and a little new, man.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, son.
So that's how you do, like even with like, say what you will about The Force Awakens, man.
Star Wars,
you bring a little old, bring a little new. Mm-hmm. You retread a little bit, but I mean... Look, if you look at the Star Wars trilogies, prequels and original, they all kind of retread a little.
Of course.
Phantom Menace has elements of A New Hope, just like Force Awakens does.
Dude, Star Wars itself is mostly based off old samurai films and westerns.
And a little couple 40s serial.
Yeah.
And Flash
Pulp. Yeah, pulpy shit.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you know, everything kind of steals from everything, man.
Yeah. Look at the new Twin Peaks, man. That's a lot of old and a lot of new.
Yes.
And it feels just like Twin Peaks, but also feels like...
It's new.
Oh, yeah.
It feels really brand new.
I've been loving the show. We still got, 6 more episodes left?
Yeah, we're 11,
12, about to be 12.
12 is on this Sunday, tomorrow.
Yeah.
So, oh, man.
I know.
I'm ready for Doug to talk, man.
I'm ready for Dale Cooper.
Yep.
Especially.
Yeah. I hope, if we don't get it the last episode, well, obviously we're going to get season 4. I really think we're getting season 4.
We'll see. That's all I'm going to say is we'll see.
Yeah. But, yeah, man. Speaking of Star Wars, though, real quick again, how do you feel like about these new characters they're doing? Do you feel like they're kind of
I'm invested at a certain point.
Okay, I know. All right. For the record, we love Max Landis. I just want to like talk about. Do you feel like these characters don't really have any stakes so far?
Not at all. No, I feel they totally have stakes. Like I disagree with that one.
Okay.
Yeah.
How so?
How so do they not? Like okay, what's his argument?
Okay. Oh, you haven't seen the video, I guess. Max Landis' argument is that Rey feels as if though she was never in danger the whole movie. She already knows how to pilot the Millennium Falcon. She knows how to pilot shit. She's a great fighter already.
She's okay.
All right.
No, she's clumsy. And it's shown. She just happens to win against a wounded warrior. Mm-hmm. So that's like,
and she already has fighting experience, basically, with the staff. With the staff.
Well, you grow up as a woman, like on a dangerous
alone.
Planet. Yeah.
You gotta learn how to fucking defend yourself.
You gotta learn to at least punch a dude in the face or hit him with a fucking stick.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. Okay.
I've done martial arts. I've known some girls that could whoop my ass, no problem.
Okay.
Yeah.
He also argues that Finn really had no character development. He says Lando in his only the 10 minutes he's on screen in Empire was way more developed than Finn.
I totally disagree with that one. Mm-hmm. I think Finn got a lot of stuff.
I think he had a great little hero's journey, man, in himself.
Yeah.
I think him and Rey they're the main characters. So
I feel like Poe was underused.
Poe was totally. Honestly,
he could have been a really cool side character, man. We had with the Star Wars trilogies, there's a trio.
Yeah.
In the original, it's Han, Luke, and Leia. Mm-hmm. In the prequels, it's Obi-Wan, Anakin, and Padme. Mm-hmm. And this one, it should have been Poe, Finn, and Rey. Poe kind of got sidelined. They were going to kill him off, and they decided not to kill him off.
I'm hearing it's actually going to be a Rey, Finn, and Rose, the new female character.
But then she should be in all three. Don't do that. Like in my head, like as soon as you say it, like nope, she'll be the Lando. Lando has a presence in 2 and 3.
No, he does. I'm just saying.
He'll be the fourth Beetle. You know.
I think that's going to be the direction they end up going with it.
I think Poe will get a bigger role. I think she will have a presence, but the trio. I think it's going to be Poe, Rey, and Finn.
Okay, I hope so, man.
Because it needs to carry throughout all the trilogies. That's how you do a traditional Star Wars film.
I hope so, because like I really feel like we don't. Well, Poe has his own comic book, but like I feel like we don't really know about enough of him in the movies yet.
See, and I feel like he's got such a great backstory. He's the best star pilot we got in the galaxy.
Yep,
he's got a little cockiness.
He was conceived during the party after they blew up the Death Star.
Oh, that's hot.
Yeah, you didn't know about that?
Nah.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like we just beat the Empire.
Yep.
Oh, fuck.
Basically,
when the kid's born. That's how I came in.
Basically, man.
Yeah, this dude, like, there's a lot of fun to have with that.
Yeah.
Like, don't make him like a Han Solo. Make him a little different. You know, it's like, he's the best star pilot. You know, and he knows how to.
Absolutely.
It's like I can fly anything.
Yeah.
No, Rey, I feel like she's totally inexperienced, but like a lot of these original characters, man, when they come in, they're partially like they're guided by the Force and they're lucky. Mm-hmm. Look at Anakin in The Phantom Menace. Yes. How does a kid fucking operate a ship and then blow up the whole fucking thing at the end of Phantom Menace?
Mm-hmm. We could argue bad writing on George Lucas's part.
And him winning the pod race after never finishing a pod race. And they established that. It's like, you've never even finished? Mm-hmm. No, and fucking Qui-Gon's like, no, he'll finish this time. How?
Right.
And then you have Luke.
I was going to say, go ahead.
In A New Hope, who has never left his farm. Yeah, they imply, well, he's good, but he's only done this training around home. He's
just a fucking kid, basically.
And then he's the one that blows up the Death Star by, like, listening to the Force.
Yeah.
So this is nothing new that we've seen before, so I don't know what they're complaining about. Like, this is nothing new.
Well, his argument was that, like, Luke sucks, and that's what makes him a great character.
Well, Rey
kind of sucks.
Well, Rey does kind of suck. She talks about, like, I want to find my family, but no, I gotta wait on the desert. And they're like, bitch, you don't have to wait on the desert.
Yeah, you know what? You're right. You're really right about that.
Yeah.
She's kind of like
she's going back to a bad relationship every time.
That's right. You're absolutely right. There.
Yeah.
Absolutely right there.
So it's like, no, dude, this is just nothing new to Star Wars. But maybe people are just picking up that, like, oh, well, maybe Star Wars has just always kind of had bad writing.
Ding, 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 ding.
I'm just, but with that said, I give it we look past it.
A nerd fist is kind of trying to come through this fucking computer right now.
I know. Yeah, that's fine, man. I'm just calling it like it.
No, that's true.
Like, bad writing doesn't make a bad movie. Like, a lot of good movies came from bad writing.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So with that said, it's like, I'm not going to criticize. It's like, well, it is what it is, man. So, like, who cares? Is the movie still fun? Do we still love these characters?
Fuck yes. There you go. I love Star Wars, man. I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
I even enjoy the prequels at times.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say they're good movies, because they're not. But they're fun.
I argue 3 is still pretty solid.
3 is my favorite of the shit.
You are the best of a bad situation.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
No, but I mean, as a film on its own, it works. It totally stands out. Like, it's a good movie. Mm-hmm. Yeah. 2, in my opinion, is the worst.
Oh God.
2 is just boring, and I hate it.
I did not like 2 at all.
1's got problems.
Mm-hmm. But it's a good.
But I give it a D+.
Okay.
Maybe a low C-.
Jar Jar. Okay, I know a lot of people hate Jar Jar.
You know, if you cut
I don't like him either.
Yeah.
But go ahead.
Well, there's some fan edits of Episode 1, and they cut out some of the filler shit, and they cut out, I think, a lot of Jar Jar, and they cut out a lot of like Annie's dumb shit.
Makes it better.
Yeah, I mean, it's like fan the movie's like 20 minutes shorter, but it's also like, it's good.
Okay, fan edits.
Yeah.
Okay, so we had Star Wars, man.
Yeah, Star Wars, we got Marvel, we got DC. We talked about all the franchises, man.
Yeah, Aliens too. Real quick, Predator. Predator's been through the fucking ringer.
I never thought of Predator as a franchise, even though there are multiple films. But I never thought, like, does it need to be a franchise?
I think the Predator is actually really cool, man.
Why can to be honest, I didn't care for Predator 2. Okay. And so in my head, I'm just like, why can't we just have Predator 1 and leave it alone?
Oh, well, I mean, why can't we have just one alien, leave it alone?
Because James Cameron came along and made a great sequel.
That's true.
It's like Predator 2 we never got. Aside from Predator 1, name me one good Predator sequel.
Now, I would argue...
Name me one good Predator sequel.
Hey, Predators, to me, was decent.
Decent, but was it the Jim Cameron aliens?
No, not even close.
We never got it. Okay, aside from Predator being a one good film, like, yeah, we got lightning in a bottle once. Leave it alone. We tried a sequel, didn't work. We tried a crossover, didn't work. Tried a sequel to a crossover, didn't work. We tried a reboot to the first one, didn't work. Now we're trying it again. Predator has never screamed success for a franchise.
Well, comics and games, they sold.
Comics and games, that's one thing. That doesn't translate well to movies. We've seen video games that doesn't translate to movies, and we've seen comics.
But did they make the money back? They made the money back at the box office.
They sometimes broke even.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Critically, did they ever be like, this is the best thing since... No.
Oh, God, no. Yeah. I can't even think of the last time I've seen a Predator movie have good critical acclaim.
Of course.
Except for maybe Predators, and that was like very little.
Yeah.
I'm curious, though, about where they're going to head, though, with the new one, for the Predator. You're not feeling it?
I'll see it, but, and if it's good, I'll be pleasantly surprised.
All right. Okay. Damn. All right. Okay.
Predator just never screamed franchise to me. It's just like they did one good movie.
Right.
They tried to make it a franchise, and in my opinion, they've still been trying to make it a franchise. And there's potential, but they just can't do it, or they just haven't done it yet. And maybe they could prove me wrong. Great. I just visually can't see it as a franchise. I see it as a really fun 80s movie, the first one, and then after that, it's just like,
Okay. I want to touch upon what is a big revival right now in franchises right now. We got a shitload of monster movies coming, man.
Like what?
Well, we got Godzilla.
Oh, yeah, that's kind of a shared universe franchise.
A little bit, yeah.
They brought back
not
King
even a little
Kong.
bit. It definitely is.
They brought back King Kong.
Yep.
To eventually make it a King Kong versus Godzilla movie.
Well, not even.
But I've been saying they should remake that movie for years, so I'm okay with it.
Well, you're getting it finally.
I know.
And it's, you know what? I feel like it's not just like the big monsters like Godzilla and Kong. I feel like we're kind of getting like we've been getting monster movies the past few years, man.
Like, give me an example. Like, what do you mean?
Okay. Well, we had Monsters, which was Gareth Edwards' directorial debut. We had The Host.
Yeah, but these aren't franchises. These are just like one-off films.
Yeah, but I'm saying like it's been building to that. Like since we got those movies and they had a lot of good critical acclaim, that's what gave the studios like to go, oh, okay, Monsters still fucking work.
But as a franchise, I mean, aside from Godzilla,
that's why we got these reboots, though.
I feel like they were always talking about bringing Godzilla back in some form. Like after the 97 movie or 98 movie, they were like...
But they've always talked about, but because the 97 one flopped hard...
It was 97, 98.
It was 98, I think.
Okay.
It was 98, because it was after Independence Day.
You're right, that's
right. So, because that was, it takes a year, you know. So, I think when they saw that flop, they were kind of like really apprehensive. We didn't see monster movies for a long-ass time.
I argue Cloverfield was what brought it back.
2008. That's right, son. That is right. Talk about what could have been a great franchise. Well, they're still kind of trying to do Cloverfield as a franchise.
I don't even know if I'd call it a franchise. It feels just more like an anthology film series. But it's all connected still.
Yeah, well...
Sort of. There's little Easter eggs here and there.
Right, and then they got God Particle coming out in a couple years.
But is it going to be called... I heard it's coming out like this year or next year.
They changed the name, but we don't know what it's going to be called, because 10 Cloverfield Lane was a fucking surprise out of the blue.
I know, it could be called Planet Cloverfield.
You never know. But yeah, back to the franchise we're getting. We had Pacific Rim come out, and that was like, holy shit, these can be fucking blockbusters again.
Maybe.
Because that made a shitload of money.
Well, here's the thing. The concepts on paper could always make for a good blockbuster. But a well-made film ultimately, I
know. Pacific Rim is, in my eyes, is not a good movie.
It's a passable movie.
It's fun, and it has cool
I think it could have been way more fun. Honestly. I hate to talk trash about anybody. I'm not trying to talk trash.
No. Say your
opinion.
In
fact, I'm not even going to talk trash. This is my honest opinion.
Speak your mind.
Guillermo del Toro, I love, but I feel like he's really fallen off the bandwagon. I feel like post his work on Hobbit...
Oh, damn.
He just hasn't really, I feel like some Hobbit hurt him so bad he's not been able to, come back from it. Yeah.
Well, Hobbit, and then he had his failed Silent Hills project, which
as well as Mountains of Madness.
Oh man, I think that's the one.
You think that was what?
I think that's the one that hurt.
Because Hellboy 2: The Golden Army, I still enjoyed. Man, that was a good, well-made film. Remember we watched that?
Yeah, I liked it a lot.
I did too. Hellboy 1 and 2, I thought were really good. Blade 2, we rewatched. Yeah. We were like, this is really it's way better than we remembered.
It's fun as shit, man.
It's really fun. Yeah. Mimic is still a solid little B horror film.
Yeah. I prefer Blade 1 personally, but anyway.
I like Blade 2 a little bit. Right. But I have my reasons for it.
I got you.
Yeah. No, Blade 1 is great, but I feel it's just underrated, and I just like it more.
He just went more. He went over the top, which is what people want.
Well, it gave a little anime in it and everything.
Totally.
There's just, I don't know. For me, I Blade 1 is like the real good flirt, and Blade 2, it's like, I love you.
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah.
I got you. He did have love for that franchise, for sure.
Of course. But like, post those movies, man, let's look. Okay, so he had a failed video game, failed Mountain of Madness, Hobbit, which he spent 2 years of his life, and then ultimately didn't get to direct it.
Yeah, man.
That fucking hurts, man.
Yeah.
And I think he could have put some real life in that film, like, because they're not bad movies, but they're like overblown, bloated, and filler, and just Peter Jackson just like didn't give a shit about it. He just kind of like did it for a paycheck.
You think so?
Well,
they definitely don't. They definitely don't feel like the old ones.
Well, it's like they try to make it more epic than Lord of the Rings, and the story's not more epic.
It's not. It's a very
it should be
tight
smaller
story.
Yeah, it should be very smaller and more personal. Well, 2 films maybe, and I say that's a maybe.
Well, that was Gilmore's idea.
Yeah, do it as a 2-part film.
Yep.
And like 2-part films are like popular now. Like, you know, like they'll do franchise where it's like the last Harry Potter movie, cut it in 2 films. It's gonna be 2 films.
That's right. Yep, that's right. I love they're doing that too.
Last Twilight film is 2 films, but you know, it's like it's sometimes like the last epic thing should be cut in 2 films.
I got you, because it's a huge story they're trying to tell and cram in 1 movie.
Well, yeah, you know,
it's the conclusion of these things. So you want to flesh it out to where it's either faithful or at least enough to where people are like, okay, this is a worthy conclusion. You don't want to just wrap everything up quickly.
Right. But with Del Toro's films that he's done post that, Pacific Rim, I love that idea. Like, man, it's really awesome.
The idea is great. Yeah.
Great. It's going to be very Japanese influenced. And it's just kind of okay.
Yeah.
It didn't blow my mind.
Well, the dialogue is pretty atrocious. The acting was bad.
Yeah. And then Crimson Peak.
Oh, I did not like that one at all, man.
I didn't like it, man. I wanted to like it. Like, the cast sounded really good. The story's like, oh, he's trying to make a Gothic Hammer film. And it just kind of felt real weak.
Yeah.
It just didn't know what kind of movie it wanted to be. It was like, I don't know what I'm watching.
A Gothic romance.
With elements of horror.
Yeah. And it wasn't a horror film at all.
No, but it had like weird moments where like, what's the point?
Yeah, because there's
ghosts.
She
can talk to ghosts?
Yeah.
Okay. How does this come back?
The very end, I guess.
Sorta?
Yeah.
I just didn't think it worked. Yeah. I just didn't think it worked as a film.
It didn't, man. It was pretty to look at, but that's kind of all his movies have become. It's just pretty to look at.
Yeah, like Pan's Labyrinth, man, is a wonderful fucking film.
Such a great movie.
Yeah. And now The Shape of Water's coming out.
Yeah.
I'm on the fence. Like, I want it to be good, but I'm like, I kind of see it like it could just be
the same shit.
Crimson Peak again. Like, it'll be pretty to look at, but it's not a very good film. Like, there's some elements where I feel like, man, this could be good. This could go back to like his older days, like Devil's Backbone, and
that's the feeling I get from when I see the trailer.
Sure.
But at the same time, because what's happened the past few years, I'm kind of afraid still.
Yeah.
Because like Crimson Peak looked like it could be like his go back to like Kronos and kind of to return to form.
Of course.
And then we get Crimson Peak, and it's nothing like that.
I don't know, man. I think he's just been like kind of jaded and hurt, and now he just doesn't give a shit.
No, I think he really puts his heart into it, but I just think that during those periods of time, he might have been going through what he was going through, because those movies literally came out of like what happened with Mountains of Madness and what happened with The Hobbit.
Well, let me ask you a question. Aside from Blade 2,
yeah,
and well, I mean, even Hellboy 1 and 2, maybe Del Toro is not meant to be a franchise helmer.
You think he's meant to do his original things?
Maybe. I hate to say that, too.
Crimson Peak was an original thing.
No, it was, but like, maybe he's not a blockbuster director.
Maybe he's a tight-knit, little, short kind of guy.
Yeah, like smaller films.
I don't know if you I said shorts, but yeah, shorter films.
Yeah.
Well, seeing what he has done with things like Kronos and Pan's Labyrinth.
Mimic.
Yep. Which are all much smaller movies that he... With his skill, he happened to make look big and epic. You might be right about that.
Yeah.
So that's one reason why I'm hoping that The Shape of Water...
Yeah, it'll surprise us.
Yeah, I really
hope so. And,
maybe
we'll eat our words and be like, you know what, we were wrong about him.
I hope so, man. I really do. I do enjoy his stuff.
Yeah, me too.
It hurts when I see something from a really good filmmaker that's just like, damn, what the hell, what happened there? You know?
Oh, yeah.
So we'll see. We'll see.
Fingers crossed, my friend.
Yeah, for sure. Back to Godzilla real quick. How are you feeling about the shared universe of Godzilla, Kong, Mothra, King Rodan, and King Ghidorah?
Well, Toho's doing it for about 60 odd years before.
Are you feeling a little discouraged?
No.
Okay.
Give him a shot. You know, I mean, like, it's already better than the '98 version. So, like say what you will about the 2014 Godzilla, it's already better than the '98 movie. As far as being faithful to the character of Godzilla.
Faithful to the character, I will say I actually had a lot of fun with the '98 Godzilla.
But it's not a good movie. It's not good at representation.
It's not what Japanese Godzilla is.
No, and if you're not going to do that, then why do it? If you want to just do a giant monster movie, just make.
They can make their own. They could have gone the Cloverfield route and do their own thing.
Or somebody had said like the plot is very similar of the '98 to an old B movie called Beasts of the 20,000 Fathoms. Why not just do a remake of that?
Is that what they felt it kind of was?
More or less.
Okay, all right.
Giant monster comes. Yeah. Wreaks havoc. I think lays eggs or something. And,
okay, that's actually exactly what happens in '98 Godzilla.
Exactly.
All right. Now, that said, 2014 Godzilla, you don't really see Godzilla at all. They're trying to do the whole Jaws thing to make him like a force of nature, which he is.
I mean, it was an interesting first outing. But, you know, hey, look, it doesn't work. Hey, but it's still a pass. Like, let's just do another one and just learn from our mistakes.
I hear you. And to me, Kong, I know you didn't see Kong Skull Island.
Right.
Skull Island felt more like a
Vietnam film, right?
Well, I was going to say a TV movie.
Really?
Yeah. It's actually not a bad movie, but it just feels like it's a movie I feel like back in the 90s I would have rented on VHS and been like, oh, that's a cool movie. But it's not a movie I would have been like, I want to go see that in the theater. And I saw this in the theater and I didn't like it. When I saw it at home, I loved it. It was literally a totally different experience for me.
Okay.
I was like, oh, this is actually really fun. But it felt like it belonged on TV.
Sure.
And not in the theaters. So yeah, I'm hopeful for what's going to happen when they tie everything together.
Or at the very least, like, build it towards King Kong versus Godzilla. Like, is this a big culmination? Like, what happens after this?
Yeah.
Because you could do well, I mean, like, Godzilla, there's a ton you could do. You go Mecha Godzilla, Destroya.
Well, you're definitely going to get Rodan, Ghidorah, and Mothra for sure. Because
you do spin-offs of Mothra?
You see pictures of them in Kong. They're in credits.
Yeah.
I hope they handle those characters well because I don't think that we haven't had American adaptations of those at all.
No, not since their original release in the '60s when like they did the Americanized versions where they brought in like American actors and dubbed. They did it for a little bit. Even in King Kong versus Godzilla, they had like scenes where they reshot with American actors, like doing a news report, like, oh, this is Godzilla. Godzilla's brain is about this big, but King Kong is a thinking animal.
Oh my god! All right.
Yeah. Oh, dude, I used to watch the old VHS tape and shit.
Yeah.
I love me some King Kong vs. Godzilla. It's cheesy as hell, but whatever.
Yeah. It sucks because like with like Godzilla Final Wars and stuff. I don't think we're gonna get that insane. It'll be fun, but
no,
America's not gonna do that.
Nope.
They're gonna stick to being very grounded.
Of course, Japan, man, they got balls.
Yeah, America.
And,
I guess
they'll take risks, man. But now with that said, sometimes they even kind of like shit the bed with their own projects. Sometimes
America or Japan?
Japan.
Oh, for damn sure.
Attack on
Titan, Bleach coming out.
Well, no, even some of the Godzilla movies like that they did. Like some of them were shit.
I'm positive.
yeah. Well, no, I mean like there's some bad Godzilla movies that exist, and then there's some that are just kind of weak. But then they do some really great ones too. So it's like, well, it's like they're like us.
It's a balancing act. It's all the same.
Yeah, it's all. They'll make bad ones. They'll make good ones.
Right. It's the movie business in general.
Of course, and like Godzilla is a franchise that's been going on since the 50s.
God, I can't believe it's that long.
I know, right? It was like 54 when the first one came out.
How the hell does a franchise go from being like this commentary on like nuclear war,
like a decade after, like they experienced it.
Yeah,
and it's a real like disturbing movie as far as like it's deep.
Oh, it's very great. I love the original Godzilla.
Yeah, me too.
And to be in like this insane like mashup of like insanity,
Godzilla and the Matrix, and Star Wars, like in Godzilla Final Wars.
Godzilla does kung fu and shit.
Sorta.
Yeah, like come on. But
then he was like, he was like protecting the children from some. It's like, what's this, Gamera? Come on.
Then we got Godzilla Jr.
Yeah. I mean, hey, you never know. With this whole monster franchise, maybe America will try to do an Americanized Gamera film and like tie them all together. Godzilla versus Gamera.
Hey, we'll see. We already got Kong.
Japan hasn't done it yet, so like you never know.
Yeah, that's true. All right, so I think we covered pretty much everything, huh?
Yeah, I mean,
for the most part, yeah.
My overall feelings about franchise and franchise fatigue is that I'm okay with franchises, but as long as they just have a good story. Like, you can be a franchise and still have a good movie or just a fun movie.
Yeah.
Sometimes you can have a whole franchise and it can be a smart, fun film, or it can be a dumb, fun film. It's only when they don't give a shit.
Right.
And it's not a smart, and it's just not even fun. Then what's the point? And that's where I get a little fatigued. Or it gets repetitive, you know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah. Now, with that said, it's like, look, I've seen 12 Friday the 13th films, and I'd gladly see 12 more.
Right.
Yeah.
Because they're aware of what they are, and they roll with it, yeah.
Well, you know,
and even though I hate this franchise, it seems like Transformers is also aware of what it is, which is why it's successful.
We'll see how long that gravy train goes, though. Yeah. I could see within the next 15 years, I could see it being rebooted.
Rebooted?
Oh, totally.
Well, we're already getting a spinoff. We're 6 movies in. We're getting a spinoff, basically.
I mean, I'm just, like, look, no one's immune to the reboot button.
That's true.
Yeah. We've now seen that, like, for sure.
Yeah, 5 movies in, excuse me. Yeah. Matrix is getting a reboot, dude. Matrix.
We'll see.
Yeah.
Again, that's another movie. Like Predator, I didn't feel the need for it to be a franchise.
No, Matrix.
The first one should have just been on its own, and then they could do just original movies.
Yeah, Matrix should have been done, man. I was fine with just that and maybe the Animatrix, but even then it was a little like, all those little animated shorts were like mostly leading up to what's going to happen in like the sequels and stuff.
Reloaded and Revolution. And they just kind of shit the bed with those movies.
They had great ideas, man, but they just...
Poorly executed.
Yeah, and Wachowskis, they haven't had a good franchise since, man.
I don't know, what was the last good movie they had after Matrix?
In my opinion, I love me some Speed Racer, but...
You are alone on that ship out in the sea, my friend.
But,
Do you want to throw your life preserver?
No, come on.
Come on.
And they tried to do something with Ninja Assassin,
But they didn't direct that one.
No, that was just their idea.
Well, and they didn't even direct V for Vendetta. Some people tried to tell them it was... I was like, well, they're just producers.
They just produced it. It's something they wanted. They had a passion for it.
And even then, I give that movie a C. It's like, it's okay.
V for Vendetta?
It's good, but it's not great.
Okay, all right, fair enough. I really enjoy V for Vendetta.
Well, I mean, like, there's changes they made to the comics that I feel like the comic is better.
Okay, I understand. Yeah.
I mean, what's your overall thing? Like, what's your final thoughts on franchises?
Franchises, man, to me, you're just... I take them for what they are. They're meant to be fun. If I have a good story that's being told to me, I'm totally on board. And sometimes I just like to go to the movies and have, like, popcorn, man.
Sure.
It is what it is. Like,
Get your brain off and just, like, look up and enjoy.
Okay, there's a reason I know these Transformers movies suck, and it's because I've been to see every one of them.
See, I stopped after 2.
Yeah.
Because after I realized, I was like, I'm watching the same damn movie. And
right.
Then I was like, okay, I'll just wait and hear the reviews on 3. Reviews on 3, it's just like the first 2. There's nothing new. I'm like, all right, well, I'm not seeing this one. And then with 4, same damn thing.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
And it's like, I see the trailers in the theaters, and I'm like, that's how they get you.
Mm-hmm.
Roland Emmerich did the same thing. It's like, make a good looking trailer. It makes you like, oh man, it's going to be different. It's going to be new. And all Roland Emmerich's films are kind of the same.
Fucking Independence Day 2 and shit.
I didn't even bother, man.
I haven't seen it either, man. They're trying to make a third one.
Some movies, man, I'll wait and see it after the first weekend.
Yeah.
I'll hear the reviews from both fans and critics.
You make your own opinion.
Well, I do need to make my own opinion, but like I'll go with trustworthy people, and they're like, dude, it's not that good.
Yeah.
And I'm like, all right, well, because I mean, I like movies, man. I love going to the movies, but then I also like, I don't want to waste my time with some movies. That makes sense.
I understand. That's
some
why.
Things like I'll watch it at home in the background.
Well, yeah, because like you can't just go to the movies and you have to spend money.
Of course.
Yeah.
They're free. It's one thing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And even then, sometimes I don't want to see the shit. But yeah, my last thought on that is just franchises. They are what they are sometimes. Go have fun with them. If they have a good story.
If you want to watch original stuff, hey, just go watch original stuff.
Exactly.
There's indie films that play at the theater.
Exactly.
Heck, I saw like a Filipino horror film that was playing at AMC Theater. I almost went to go see it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What was it called?
Murder Crayons or something?
Murder Crayons?
I know.
Just because of that title, I kind of want to see it now.
All right, hey, let's go see it.
Murder Crayons.
We'll tell you how Murder Crayons is
right?
next time.
Murder Crayons.
It's a Filipino film.
Yeah. Okay, guys. This has been another episode of Johnson Nielsen. Thank you guys for joining us again. I'm your co-host, Prince Johnson.
I'm Nickolaus Nielsen.
And we will talk to you guys on the next time.
All right, later.
All righty. Yeah.